Hey everyone, welcome back to the Keep Watching podcast, where we decide what to watch so you don't have to. I'm James.
And I'm Sarah.
And today we're going to be talking about Transit Love 3, episodes 12 and 13. Sarah, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready to go to Jeju Island. How are you doing?
Good. Sarah, are you somebody that brings your own presents to the podcast?
Brings my own presents to the...
I don't know. That was something that was said about the new one of the new people.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out how I would not bring my own presents to the podcast and still be on it. That would be pretty hard, I think.
I didn't know what to think of that comment. That person brings their own presents.
I would hope so.
Well, she has her own presents. That's what they said.
Yeah. I mean, well, it would be a shame if she lost it. That would be weird. What would that be like? I don't know. That's a weird comment. Yeah.
She stole it from somebody else. That's what.
Oh,
or not her, but other people steal their presents from other
yeah.
people. Yeah. Okay. And that kind of makes sense.
I see now. Yeah. Totally makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, we're going on this show. I was expecting, for whatever reason, I was expecting this 12 and 13 to be a point in the season where like everything goes bad.
Broke bad, yeah.
I think it might be the next two episodes that people are referring to.
Yeah.
Because some people, I won't name names, it's not us, other people. Even other people that aren't us might be getting burned out on Transit Love this season.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on what we've watched so far. I think it's stuff to come.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little curious, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, way to make it enticing while also sort of giving us an out, which is pretty funny.
No, we're definitely finishing this. In some capacity, we're definitely finishing this. Yeah, people can tell us how they want us to finish it. Because I think there's only like 10 days until the finale of the show at this time they're recording. So, yeah, at the pace we're going, we're going to be like still like five episodes behind. But we can still finish it, however people want us to finish it. But yeah, I thought these two episodes were fine.
Yeah, it was downright pleasant for most of it.
Yeah. And even the unpleasant stuff, I didn't think was that bad in these two episodes. I don't know. It really wasn't. I'm worried that I'm underreacting. like other people are upset about certain people and I'm not. That's potentially how I feel, but I'm not sure.
Well, I think we're just at the beginning of what there is to maybe complain about.
I'm really worried about, or I don't know, I wouldn't be, but based on what I've seen, I'm worried about the direction of Songjong on the show.
Yeah.
But I might not agree with it. I might just not agree with it when it comes, but we'll see. Yeah.
But yeah, we got to watch and find out.
But we have some suggestions for other shows to do after, and we're not super close to the end of Transit Love, but we kind of are. So let's just throw out these shows ideas for people to think about. Physical 100 season 2.
Oh yeah, season 2 just came out. Yeah,
I've actually watched a few episodes of season 2, basically the same as season 1 so far.
Okay. Yeah,
I have not watched the finale of season 1 yet though.
That's an interesting viewing strategy you've gone with.
Well, I wanted to watch it, but I didn't want to start over from the beginning with my wife. When we were like, we need something to watch, and I was like, we should watch Physical 100. But I didn't want to restart season 1, so
okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm at that with that. I don't know how we would recap Physical 100. Like, what would we talk about? You've seen all of season 1, right?
Yes, I've seen all of season 1. I mean, it's definitely not an episode to episode podcasting situation, but
even if we did the whole season, like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about just the spectacle of the show, what we liked?
If there's any like personalities that stand out, or I don't know.
Okay.
Vibes.
Just vibes. Okay. All right. It wouldn't be too much in like most of the show is just, physical challenges, and it's like, that was really impressive when they did that physical challenge. So well, you'd have to come up with a more interesting way to talk about it than that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But I do enjoy the vibes of that show. Just kind of, it's a lot of, just athletic, physical people supporting each other. It's good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching that show while eating snacks because the contrast amuses me.
Yeah, even you enjoy the show, which is pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not normally the sporty type enjoying, but yeah.
It's in the same vibes of like Ninja Warrior or, any of these competition shows really where they support each other. Even like CrossFit, like real CrossFit challenges, it's like very similar community, I feel like, where.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because ultimately it's like you're just doing physical activity. It's against each other, but it's kind of individual. Well, actually, Physical 100 is like you actually wrestle against each other and shit. It's actually pretty intense, but they're pretty good about it.
Yeah.
In terms of another recommendation was Apartment 404, which I believe is on Amazon Prime. Physical 100 is on Netflix. Yes. It's a lot. It seemed the description of it made it seem a lot like a show that we watched called Crime Scene.
Yes, which intrigued me because I enjoyed Crime Scene.
Yeah, but this seems like they're in like a real apartment and they might have to like play games to get clues, which is a bit different than Crime Scene was. So I don't think it's exactly the same thing, but maybe.
But I watched the teaser. Looked like maybe a good time.
Okay.
So, yeah,
could be fun. All right. If more people have watched that, want us to talk about that, let us know. And then another one was My Siblings Romance, which is on Viki.
This one, I'm not entirely sure on the premise, other than there are siblings. They're like maybe 4 sets of siblings in a house, and it's a dating show. And I'm pretty sure we're not dating siblings.
Yeah, we're not.
But maybe the siblings are picking.
I'm confident.
Maybe the siblings are picking dates for each other. I'm not quite sure what's up with the sibling angle.
Yeah, it seems like it's Heart Signal, but you only have like 3 options instead of 4 because one of them's your sibling.
Maybe.
But then your sibling's there to like help you choose or play wingman to you. I don't really know what's going on.
Maybe. It is unclear. I've read descriptions on several websites, and none of them told me exactly what it meant. But I did avoid spoilers, so.
Do you think it's all like sisters and brothers? Like combinations? Or is it like there's a sister and a brother?
I gotta hope that it's a bunch of weird combinations that just make things, like
all the weird combinations, like the 3 combinations.
All of the 3 combinations.
Oh yeah, maybe there's sister, brother, older brother, younger sister, older sister, younger brother. Those are all the combinations, right?
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. You got all. Yeah, you'll get it all with those combinations.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what the intrigue of that premise is, other than that it's like another season of Heart Signal. But I don't know what the siblings thing adds. But maybe we could break that down if people want us to.
Yeah.
But yeah. Those are some options.
Those are things we could watch.
Those are things. Anybody else wants to start throwing out recommendations, we'd be happy to hear them.
Yeah, let us know.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, because I wasn't prepared to debate it in the moment on the last podcast.
Okay.
But we brought up comparing Survivor Medevacs and my feelings about Survivor Medevacs to the Dongjin and Dahye scenario. And there's a huge difference that I should have pointed out, and that is that Survivor Medevacs are not a choice by the people that they happen to, whereas like Dongjin and Dahye, at least one of them chose to break up,
But they didn't necessarily choose the situation they were in and the hardships they faced, and most of it was just a comparison of, you could be empathetic about one situation. Surely you could be empathetic about another.
What are you crying about? Are you crying for Dahye? Because it's like she had this amazing boyfriend.
For both of them.
You're crying for both of them. Okay. See, I'm not.
It was a rough time.
You know what's funny? I did get a little emotional. I wouldn't say I cried, but I did get a little emotional watching them have to watch themselves on the extra bills. For some reason, that extra layer just added a little bit enough for me to be like, oh yeah, this is, I'm feeling something watching this.
All right. That's progress. I'll take it.
Man, this would be like being in the situation on the show, having to watch yourself be watched by other people in front of like that. I was like, damn, this is,
Okay.
And revealing the 13 years like to the people that theoretically you're trying to date is also that was enough layers that I was like, okay, this is a situation to be emotional about.
All right, hey, I'll take it.
Where did we leave off in episode 11?
We left off where they're going to Jeju earlier than expected, and the women got to pick who they'd go with. And if there was a tie, the guy would pick which woman he wanted to go with.
And we just got through the personal X rooms. Personal / X rooms.
Yes. More X rooms than personal rooms, but
and we're still waiting for Kwante and Songjong's exes, who will be arriving shortly when we get to Jeju.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, at the end of the day, when we get to the end of the day of the Jeju trip, we'll get it.
Yes.
So it's the last morning in Seoul, and it's time to travel to Jeju.
Mm-hmm.
We're just jumping into these dates.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so they're going on dates for the travel to Jeju, which is what we did in season 2. No exes. Exes weren't allowed to choose each other, but even the leftovers group has no exes in it. So this travel is going to be pretty lighthearted and a good time. Yeah. I think particularly episode 12 of this, I was like, oh, that was an enjoyable episode. And then I think like the 2 times I was like enjoyed the show the most this season were the episodes where like the exes like weren't able to interact with each other because like basically they were on dates the whole episode with people that weren't allowed to be their exes.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
That's what this kind of broke down to. And then I do have to take, I think I recommended maybe they don't share the exes until the very end of the season in the last podcast. I totally take that back now. Like the X reveal, the X reveal, I don't remember how I felt about it in season 2, but I thought the X reveal was great this season.
Yeah.
For everybody. So and I'm glad they got it out of the way and people can just move on. But however they're gonna feel about it, they're gonna feel about it. Might as well make it happen sooner than later.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
All right. Take me on the ride, Sarah. What do we do?
Oh, okay. So let's do our leftovers first.
All right.
Okay. We've got Kwante, Huihyun, Seokhyun, and Songjong are all grouped up as our leftovers to be on what they call a double date.
Yeah, they're gonna call it a double date, which is funny how they break down the double date from Huihyun's perspective.
Yeah, it seems like Seokhyun and Songjong are on the same page, where it is a Kwante Seokhyun date and a Huihyun Songjong date. But when Huihyun talks about it, he just talks about how nice it's to spend time with Seokhyun and how, even though they call it a double date, there's not really any distinct pairs happening. He's like having an entirely different experience from everyone else, it seems.
Seokhyun and Huihyun are like actually kind of similar in this, where like Huihyun likes Seokhyun, and maybe he hasn't been as very clear about that, but like Seokhyun either doesn't know that he likes her, or is just trying to ignore the fact that he likes her. And Huihyun's doing like the exact same thing with Songjong, where like we've seen Songjong clearly flirting with him, and she tends him texts, but he's like, there's like a weird conversation where it just seems like he has to know, right?
Right.
But he is just ignoring it and hoping it goes away or something. I don't know.
But then so they're in the car on the way to the airport, and they decide to do poems where they use the first character or letter.
Is that what that was? I couldn't figure out what they were doing.
It's an acrostic poem for I think they were using the name of the airport or something. I forget. But his is basically calling out Kwante to give up and that he calls dibs on her, but then uses Songjong's name in it instead of Seokhyun. And it's these are some mixed messages here.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay. I didn't follow the whole poem thing. What was going on? Okay.
But it's probably just because Songjong's name fit in it, whereas Seokhyun's didn't. But it's if he is aware of this situation where she is clearly flirting with him and into him, but is trying to make it go away, maybe not the best move for that.
Yeah. Huihyun is a mystery. I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest mystery is what does he think is important when people express their feelings? And what does he think is just somebody saying things? I don't really know.
Yeah.
Even for himself, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he thinks a serious emotional conversation looks like.
Yeah. It is. He's very confusing to me at this point.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's confusing, but to me, it's like in a mysterious, entertaining kind of way almost.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I don't know.
it's funny to watch. I just feel bad for poor Song Jung.
Song joke, yeah. I mean, at some point, you're just like, okay, this guy's not with it, but it's like, okay, well, if he can't tell, then I'm just dodging a bullet. I think at this point,
I guess, yeah.
This group of four, though, I was thinking about it. Like, this is actually team fun. Like, if you were like, okay, pick the top four most fun people on the season. Like, maybe you throw in Dahye, like now that she's in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe over Huihyun, but it's pretty much like it's the two people that haven't had their exes there, right?
Yeah.
And then Seokhyun, like, I don't know. She's just going with the flow at this point.
Yeah, she does not seem to give too much of a fuck. Yeah.
Huihyun's a mystery, but
he still seems to be having a good time.
At this point, we're gonna find out that he is like done with tests for school, and he doesn't have any more job interviews, so he's like good to go to Jeju. I feel like he's ready to have some fun.
Yeah, he's probably relieved, and yeah, definitely.
So they were fun to watch, and I thought this group date was going to be a total dud, but it was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, we do get a little follow up from the last time Gwante and Seokhyun went on a date. They went to a bookstore, and apparently they assigned each other homework, which was like, do a book report on the book I bought for you. And he's like fulfilling that and giving it back to her, and she's really like touched by what he wrote. And like it seems to be like, because for a while like Gwante seems like into her, but then he switched to Yoo-jung, and it seems like maybe now that Yoo-jung is not reciprocating anything, there might be opportunity for him to swing back to Seokhyun, which I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it either. Kwante's journey, like where Kwante at, is a little bit interesting too, actually.
Yeah,
because he isn't giving up on Yoo-jung, even though Yoo-jung is annoyed by his thing, but also she encouraged him to keep going. So why would he give up? Why would he give up? But then with the texting thing might help. The whole change the texting in these episodes.
Yeah.
Might help Kwante switch back to Seokhyun, because he's actually going to see who's sending him texts. They're going to tell people who every text is from going. Yes. I assume it's going forward. It's not just a one-time thing.
That's how it was last season, right? This same thing happened.
Oh, did that happen? I forgot.
Did it?
Is that, you might be right, but the
I think
cast
we definitely
was
at least
very
got
shocked
the text
by this. So
I
assume they didn't, but yeah, maybe they did.
I thought we at least at some point got the "this is who your ex texted" texts.
Oh wow, I thought this was the first time.
Maybe,
the host even acted in a way
that
it was like, this seemed new, but I could be just not totally forgetting. People will let us know.
Now I'm worried that I have fabricated this memory.
Either way, we can give the thumbs up or thumbs down of the whole production decision when we get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they give each other books, and then they write essays. They write essays of how the translation gave it back. I think they're more like postcards.
Yeah,
maybe a little both sides of a postcard with small. I don't know. It was hard to see how long they really were.
Single spaced.
Did you have to read the whole book
font
before you to write the essay, or could you just like read the cliff notes and write the essay?
Well, I guess that depends on how serious you're taking this date homework.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah. you ever gotten homework on a date before, Sarah?
I've never gotten homework on a date. I mean,
would
maybe
you want
there's
to
like
get some homework on a date.
Not like actual legitimate homework, but sometimes it'll be like somebody will be like, "Oh, this is my favorite movie ever. We should watch it together." That's almost like that's just another date. That's not really homework.
Yeah, but if you don't have to write an essay afterwards, that's not homework.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to have to write an essay after.
I should have like told my wife like, okay, watch this season of Survivor and then write me like a 10-page essay about all your feelings and what you would have done.
Mm-hmm. And this will determine our compatibility going forward.
Yeah, like if we don't have the same favorite character on the season, we're not compatible.
I will say though, if dating was based on schoolwork, I was good at school. I feel like I'd get an A on dating if it was graded.
But would you be a
But
tough grader in the dating homework?
Oh,
alternate universe.
Yes, I would be.
You'd be a very tough grader. Yeah, you would.
Yes, I would expect a lot from the date homework I receive.
Are you a grammar syntax person?
I am not a I'm gonna correct you person, but I use punctuation in my texts. Proper capitalization for the most part. I like to do those things properly.
Yeah. I'll say that was one thing I remember my ex liked that I wasn't even like new. I guess I was, wait, I don't even think I had a phone at the time. I was really late. I was really late to the smartphone game.
Okay.
But or chatting on Messenger or whatever. I just used good grammar syntax, and that did it.
Okay.
That did it. So some advice out there. That might only be for certain people that
I think that's definitely not true anymore. I think using punctuation properly on texting and stuff does mark me as an old,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Don't do that these days.
You don't think there's any this has really gone off topic, but I don't you don't think there's grammar nerds out there who still
Oh, I'm sure there are, but the percentage of grammar nerds out in the dating pool, you're probably
you just have to know your target. Know your target.
Yeah, you know your target.
But you have to know the grammar syntax.
Yeah.
To be able to even follow through on it.
That's true.
It's pretty useless. I mean, I would have to see how I felt if you started dating somebody and they was they used as many abbreviations as possible. But
oh, you know what though? I do love a semicolon. A proper use of a semicolon.
Oh, see,
yes.
Oh
yes.
God, yeah, you've lost
Best
me.
Punctuation.
You have lost me. I had a buddy in college. I swear he was obsessed with semicolons.
They're awesome. And not many people use them, and less people use them correctly.
It's almost like they're useless. How have people gotten through their lives without using semicolons properly?
I mean, is art useless? Semicolon is the art of grammar. I'm just gonna put that out there,
Art makes people feel things, and
clearly semicolons make me feel
things.
They
do, but this idea that I don't know. Man. Yeah, okay. No, you're deep into the grammar syntax if you're all about semicolons. You're deep.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not even just about putting periods at the end of your sentences or whatever. But
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're real deep. All right. People know. All right.
You want to impress me? Semicolons is how it is.
Yeah. That's the challenge this week. That's the homework for all the listeners. Leave a comment using a semicolon properly.
Yes.
Every comment that's left that uses semicolon properly, Sarah will read it on the next podcast. Right?
Oh, is that true?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
How many are we gonna get?
2.
Well, are you gonna call anybody out if they try and they fail to use it properly?
No.
Okay. So just leave a comment, use a semicolon, and maybe it'll be right. And Sarah will read it on the next podcast.
I guess we'll see.
Okay. What were we doing on this group date? Oh yeah, Salkyun kind of likes Quante now.
Yeah. I mean, she has. She's texted him a lot, especially in the beginning.
She likes, but also doesn't really like anybody besides Juwon. That's
yeah, but
read.
he is the person she has texted the most and been the most consistent about dates and stuff.
You have the chart. Who's gotten more texts?
I have the chart.
Juwon or Quante?
Quante definitely has more texts from her.
Are you saying that while looking at the chart, or are you just?
I'm saying that while looking at the chart.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I think she's recently sort of strayed, probably also because of his maybe lack of interest. She could tell that he was, obviously not texting her, and she got distracted by shiny food.
They're both they're both texting you, John. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think this is a moment where maybe things have an opportunity to come back around for both of them.
Okay, so they get food.
Yes.
But there's two guys. But there's two guys here, so she has to choose between one of them.
Well, neither of them made the food for her.
Neither made the food. Oh, they actually are gonna make a meal later. So she has a lot of ways to go on this. Well, she had a meal with Quante. I think she's going to text Quante, right?
Yeah, and Quante also cooks.
Quante also cooks. But the reason she gives is that he drove on this group date. So driving and cooking.
I mean,
the two bigs.
I get it. Yes. Those are things
Driving,
I would love in a relationship
cooking,
too.
semicolons. That's what all you need.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
The big three. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's good. That's pretty good. You throw a plant in there, and I'm ready to go.
Give me the ranking of driving, cooking, semicolons. What's most important?
I mean, cooking, because I work from home. I'm not having to be in a car as often as I need meals, I guess. Sure.
Okay.
Then it's driving.
If semicolon wasn't third, I was gonna be blown away.
Well, I'm throwing plant in there. I feel like if you get me a plant, that might outrank a semicolon.
But is it the gift of a plant, or they have to also be into plants?
They don't have to also be into plants, but they have to not.
Oh, so semicolon's pretty low. Like a good gift beats a semicolon.
Well, I mean, maybe it's
consistent
like
semicolons.
Not necessarily give me a plant, but will listen to me talk ad nauseum about my new plant and how cute it is. You know?
So semicolons.
There needs to be a tolerance for that.
Okay.
But then, semicolon's pretty good.
Okay.
Semicolon is like an intro level thing, but in a sustained relationship, it's like, okay, you've already established you know how to use semicolons. You don't that's not a
what if for years
ongoing
they're
impressive
they're
thing.
just crushing it with the semicolons, and then one day they get lazy and they're just like, you know what?
I mean, is everything
I gave
else
up on
still fine?
Yeah, everything else is just fine.
Well, then I guess they just stylistically changed how
they
wrote.
evolve as a texting person.
Yeah,
and they just get rid of the semicolon.
Okay. It's okay.
No.
Yeah, I think semicolon's really an intro level thing.
I've heard there's a thing where people don't use spaces anymore. Like the youngins don't use spaces anymore. You figure it out. You just throw the letters in there. You know what it says. There's probably some scenarios where it's tough to discern.
Are we camel casing, or we're just all lower
no,
casing?
If you're doing spaces, you're not capitalizing. There's no way.
But then how are you,
you could read it. You'd get
how are you making use of your, predictive text? You have to type out that whole fucking thing if you're not putting spaces in it. Because your keyboard's not.
Oh, predictive text, is a game changer.
That's just silly. I don't think it's true.
You don't think it's true?
I
think some people definitely do it, but yeah, maybe it's not as widespread as I'm saying it is.
Maybe I just heard type out the whole thing without spaces and then let predictive text put the spaces in. I could believe that.
Oh, does that technology exist?
Depending on how many words you're doing at a time, it'll figure out I can identify those nobody's
texting paragraphs anyway, right?
We sound so old, Jake.
If you just text, isn't that the point?
I guess. Okay.
I'm in my mid-30s now, sir. God damn.
You're really just you've given up. You're an old age now. That's it. Okay.
But if you just text somebody yo, what's up? And you need spaces.
I guess.
I'll just text you from now on. And everything I do, I'll be as anti-semicolon as I can.
I don't appreciate this change that is happening.
Well, it's just an experiment. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Excuse me while I probably respond less.
All right. And then the other thing I wrote down is Songjong basically confesses to the group that she found Huihyun the most attractive in the beginning.
Yes.
Which does not get a big reaction from Huihyun, right?
It does not at all.
It's oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Doesn't even seem to register with him because he's focused on how he had fun with Sokyeon today, I guess.
I think it's beyond that. I at this point,
it's not obliviousness. It's him just not being interested.
Yeah, I think he's just not interested. Whatever, there's something, whatever it is about Songjong, just nobody is interested at all. I felt
like at the beginning, he had some amount of interest. I don't know. I guess
he did.
Well, they went. I guess she was the one that pushed for their walking date or whatever.
He might have just enjoyed the distraction from the studying or whatever.
That's fair.
But
yeah,
it was definitely her. She was doing the initiation, right?
Yeah, you're right.
All these cases, yeah. Whatever. We move on. We'll talk about him more later. Okay. Unless there's more from this date that you want to talk about.
No. He did text her once. He only texted her once. Okay. All right.
Oh, he did text her once?
He texted her once.
Oh, okay. Was it the day they went on the walk?
I don't have that information in my chart.
Okay. All right.
but probably.
Who's next? Who we talk? What's the next Jeju travel date?
Okay, let's go through Juwon and Yujong.
Juwon and Yujong. Okay.
They
Do we
are
have
just
to,
a
though?
couple now, right? It can be real quick because this was all just like, hey, look at how coupley these two are. Definitely.
By the end of these two
just
episodes, it's
dating
like
now.
I'm up to the point where I'm like, okay, Yujong she is all in on Juwon, right?
Yes. I
The
believe that.
only thing that could slip this up is if Juwon decides to go back to Seokhyun.
Yes.
And all I think that takes is if Seokhyun just wants it to happen. And then it's gonna happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
You are correct.
And I don't know what Seokhyun is waiting for, or if she's just deciding if she even wants that to be a thing, or I don't know. Maybe she's just...
Yeah, I think she's deciding if she wants that to be a thing.
Seokhyun has all the power in this whole love triangle scenario. So, yeah. But, like, yeah, they're on the plane, Yujong and Juwon, and they're, like, talking about how many babies they want to have. It's not necessarily with each other, but, you know.
But just generally,
also,
and but
the
that's
conversations
still, like...
between the two of them, so it's... She wants to have two babies while she's still young, so I don't know what young means, but it sounds sooner than later.
Yep,
Potentially
definitely.
is what that could mean. Okay.
They go get some hot pot, and he does not like it, but pretends to like it for her because she really likes it.
Isn't this literally what he did on the first date with Seokhyun? Did they describe something like this where he was like,
"Yup,
why does he do this? Why? It's okay to not like something, like some foods.
Maybe he does not have faith in his personality backing up.
Yeah.
Them actually liking him. It's a self-esteem issue. I don't know.
If he's not 100% agreeable, then he knows he can't make up for it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. All right.
You go on a nice walk in a park. There's a tree that you have to hug to make a wish.
Yeah, how many wishes does this guy have now? He's got
2 wishes. We don't know what either of them are.
God.
Yeah.
And one is directly with Yujong. Theoretically, the tree wish, Yujong doesn't have to participate in whatever that wish is. But theoretically, this guy has 2 wishes that he's got banked up. How many wishes can you bank up? 3? Is it like Aladdin rules? Like, you can't get more than 3.
I think if you got multiple sources going, the sky's the limit in terms of banking of wishes.
3's got to be the limit.
I don't know. And you got different sources.
All right.
I don't know. I think they all have their own individual limits. Like, I don't think he can get a second wish from this tree, but I don't know if he throws a penny in a fountain, he could probably get another wish.
Okay. All right. We'll see how these wishes get used throughout the rest of the season. All right.
And yeah, they just spend a lot of time taking pictures of each other and telling each other how they feel like they're already a couple. It is the couplest bullshit.
I wrote down he playfully insults her and she likes it. That's what
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was something about looking like the tall pink grass that was in the garden they were walking
or maybe,
through.
I mean, no, maybe
she
it
looked
wasn't
strange like the tall pink grass. Or something.
Well, I thought, she said the tall pink grass looked like a sweater, a kind of sweater, right? And
then I don't
know.
He was like, that's strange, like just like you or something. Or it looks strange like you. Or that the sweater would look strange just like you do. I don't know. Something it was like weird. That. But she was into it.
She seemed to really like it, so it's fine.
Yeah, okay. I told you this being mean to people just it's good stuff.
I don't know.
I have to try these insults sometimes.
Okay.
Maybe as long as they're not.
Who are you gonna try them on?
Probably you.
Well, I'm telling you.
Who else could I try it on?
Work. I mean,
how do you know?
I don't want to tell you to insult your wife, but I mean that's who you have access to see how this works out. I don't know.
Okay. The show is definitely making it seem like they've decided on each other.
Yes.
So I was debating on the last podcast. Am I rooting for them to just be together, or am I rooting against them? Just because I feel like I'm really rooting for the Seokhyun just decides to win him back, and then she just does, and then we get to see the fallout of how Yujong handles that.
The chaos of that would be kind of amusing.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't want to reward Juwon with getting Sokyun back after he pitched an absolute fit earlier in the season either. You know,
I mean, if that's what Sokyun wants, that's what Sokyun wants. Don't you want
I don't
Sokyun to
want
get
that
what
to
she
be
wants?
what Sokyun wants.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Anything else from these two?
No. That's pretty much it.
All right, who's next?
Haewon and Dongjin.
Haewon and Dongjin. Let's go. Okay. The hosts are really again selling Dongjin's interest in Haewon, which is a good sign for Interregnum.
I think this is the first time though, like shit he says in confessionals maybe backs it up. You know, before he was referring to her in ways that made it sound like she's a little sister or someone he needs to prepare for or take care of. But this time he's talking about like liking her as a woman and like I don't know, his feelings are deepening or
does he say
that?
He said liking her as a woman now? Or that's your interpretation of what's going on?
I forget the exact subtitles. Okay. It might have been like he referred to her as a woman he was interested in, or he was interested in her as a woman, which is sometimes a translation you get when they mean like not like a friend, like in a romantic way.
I don't know what Haewon said, but there was something that Haewon said that Dongjin told us, like his heart skip a beat or something.
Oh yeah, I know he's really like she laughs at like literally everything he says. And he really likes that attention.
Yeah. The laughing thing was like, for me, was like if you were Dongjin, it'd be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, it's definitely going to work. Like if you're on a date with somebody, it's definitely going to work, right? But as an outside viewer of it, like I don't know, like I can't tell if Haewon is being like 100% genuine or not. Like I actually like it was so much that I couldn't tell.
But also we're getting the supercut of all of the time she is laughing at him, you know, like
yeah. But if I was on a date with Haewon, I'd be like, oh yeah, she thinks I'm hilarious. This is great. Yeah, I wouldn't question it at all.
Of course.
Yeah. Haewon's in her own personal situation, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
This is their third date on the show. That's a lot of dates together.
A lot of dates. And I don't know, they seem to like she said she like after their second date she wasn't sure that he was into her, but now, you know, she's feeling better about how things are between them, and you know, he's actually saying he's interested in her, so you know, I think it's moving in a positive direction. They do look cute together. They seem like they're having a good time.
Yeah, the hosts say they look great, like a great couple. We found out some information because they do talk about their exes a little bit.
Yes.
I wrote down Dongjin found it awkward to tell Dahye that he loved her.
It sounded like that maybe wasn't always the case, but at a certain point it became awkward or something.
Or was it awkward at first and then it wasn't? You think it became awkward later?
It sounded like it became like I thought he said he stopped expressing his feelings towards her, and then it felt too awkward to start up again. And then I don't know, sad times, I guess.
Was this like going into year 13? You think, or was it like
I
don't know.
Think
it was hard to
maybe, yeah.
Okay, like a more recent, like why they broke up kind of deal. Okay, I wasn't sure. All right. Oh, Dongjin says he's getting the feeling now that he got with Dahye when he realized he was romantically interested in her. So there you go.
Yeah, that's if nothing else, he actually likes this girl now. So
okay, we're getting there, Interregnum.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Maybe it's happening.
I think I am at this point. I feel like I'm rooting for this, but it's kind of stems off of the fact that I'm rooting for Dahye and Chongjin, so I just kind of like want them to be happy apart now, like Dongjin and Dahye. Yeah,
absolutely.
But then whatever's happened with Haewon is a whole thing, so it could go bad. Yeah. It could go bad in many ways.
Yeah, if Hui-Hyun came back and decided he was ready to be with Haewon, then this would fall apart. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Okay. Do we have one more?
Yes, we do have Chongjin and Dahye.
Oh, here we go. They have a really cute morning conversation.
Yes, they're like teasing each other.
I just enjoyed it. This mostly, but yeah,
they're cute as fuck. It's great.
They seem very close.
Yeah,
very quickly. And I don't know if this is this a similar kind of emotional response that like Haeun had when like her game changer guy showed up and then all of a sudden they were just like a thing. And after being so sad about her ex, I don't know. I'm not saying this in a as a bad way at all. It's just is there like some weird psychology going on here? Or do they just happen to add the perfect person? Or that they know somehow they know that, maybe they don't know, but just coincidentally, the person that's been sad about their ex the most just is really happy with a new person all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've said it before, but there's a saying that like the best way of getting over somebody is getting under somebody new, right? Like that's just
she had a new person. Somebody news in both scenarios.
But like she didn't like connect with anybody in the first round, and she just happened to connect with Chongjin.
So you just think it's or
she had been. I think it's a coincidence and maybe a combination of like she had enough time on the show to sort of like cry herself out, get used to the idea of Dongjin moving on. Like she came somewhat with the idea of trying to get closure, but also wouldn't mind getting back with her ex, but was more open to closure, I think, than like Haeun was.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe with Dahae. Like before he showed up, she was like getting over him, getting over Dongjin.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way last season about Haeun, which is why it was so confusing to me. Like even after she had a connection with the new guy, she didn't like stop crying about, I don't know. It was just weird to me. Whereas this seems more normal to me.
Yeah. It also felt weird last season because the new guy you saw them going on dates and having a good time, but it didn't really I didn't feel like I saw them bonding.
Yeah.
In any way. Whereas I feel like you really see that here with Chongjin and Dahae. Like they're staying up all night talking. They're like have weird little inside jokes now. Like they're just, I don't know, they seem like real people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm enjoying the TV version of this story better than the Han last season for sure. Yeah.
I also agree. Yeah.
Han says though that she doesn't know if she's excited for Jeju Island or if she's excited to be with Chongjin. So she's, still feeling out her feelings, basically.
Yeah.
And I think Chongjin is in the same boat. And that's partially of why I think they're vibing.
Yeah. Because they're like kind of bonding over similar experiences.
Yeah. Then they go to get food. I just heard that Dahae, when they start to eat food, Dahae like puts her hair up and she gets like this like theme music. I just thought this was a funny edit choice.
Mm-hmm.
She got theme music for putting her hair up before she ate her food. That was weird. It was interesting. Dongjin got some theme music. Dahae's got some theme music now. Okay. Also, apparently Dahae eats a lot of food, but Chongjin likes that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it works,
Okay. Also, apparently Dahae looks unusual, Sarah. Thoughts on that?
I mean, unusually hot? I wasn't quite sure. She says something about like not like qualifying for whatever the like standard of beauty is or whatever, I guess. And I'm like, I don't get it. She seems hot to me, but yeah.
She has the face of a lion.
Which, once she mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, I could see it. Like normally when people say the like cat face, dog face, dinosaur face or whatever, I don't see it, but like I could kind of see it.
Okay.
From this time. Something about her cheekbones. I don't know.
Last podcast you were like, I will not hear anything about Dahae.
Yeah. I won't hear any Dahae slander.
Dahae, shut up about yourself. Sarah doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah, you're hot. Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with that. Deal with that problem. Okay. The hosts, this is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
The hosts are actually saying, while watching these group dates, that they're rooting for the new couples over the exes.
Yeah,
let's
that was
go.
A surprise.
That gave me so much hope about this season. The comments that people are leaving have taken away that hope, but I thought it was a really good sign that even the hosts are rooting for the new couples over the exes. I was like, oh, they're telling me how I should feel, and it's how I've already felt. This is great.
But don't they often like show us the wrong thing that the hosts have said, like, so in a twist, none of these will work out and we'll all go back to exes or something.
It depends on the moment, I think. Like right before, if they say, like if they try to guess who somebody's going to text right before, that will often be wrong. But if they're like speculating about the end of the season, I feel like
that's legit.
I don't know. I haven't tracked this as good. I just thought maybe like the hosts are kind of prepping us for what the
accepting the new couples. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right before everybody chooses, they'll probably show a few hosts guessing wrong. But I don't know. I just like to hear that, I wasn't the only one rooting for new couples on the show.
Yeah, I think we might all be on that same page of these new couples.
You think that's the majority? Well, you think people are off Dongjin and Dahae? Or is it just like, it's sad, but I'm not actually rooting for them to get back together?
Yeah, I think like they've given us the story of them sort of working for closure and like accepting the, that they're not together anymore, at least from like Dahae's perspective. And everything with Chungjin's just been so dang cute. I mean, how could you not root for this?
Okay. Is there going to be another Dongjin Dahae moment where we're all supposed to cry about it before the end of the season?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just given the like preview at the end of episode 13, I could see that they're gonna, I don't know, there's gonna be something, right?
Well, they're gonna talk, but they might just fight, and we're not gonna cry. But if they fight, we're not gonna cry, are we?
No, I don't think they're gonna fight though.
Oh, okay.
They seem like reasonable adults. I think they might just, I don't know. We'll see.
And then Dahae and Chungjin go on an electric bike ride, and that was cute and fun also.
Yeah, it's like great. On the beach at sunset. It's picturesque. It's great.
Yeah. And
Dahae even says that this date made her like feel like she was kind of capable of this, and by this I think she means like dating somebody new and moving on. Like she feels like, yeah, I can do this.
I don't know if we already knew this, but we're gonna find out that Dahae has never dated anybody else. But I think Dongjin had a girlfriend before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which probably barely counts. He was like 17 or something.
Well, he's dating somebody
from long ago.
Dating from like elementary school until.
Oh, that's true. Maybe he's just only those long relationship type of guy. They've been together. Yeah,
he's like he's had like 2 13-year relationships, and he's 31 years old. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. He only does 13-year relationships. All right, we're at Jeju, right?
Yeah.
We're at the house. It's house time.
Yeah. It's like a bunch of little buildings and like a common space in the middle. And there's this big outdoor like living room, and it's a pretty cool space.
Yeah, these vacation spaces are fun.
Yeah.
But oh no, Sarah.
Oh no.
There's a projector screen set up in the courtyard.
Oh no, you know what that means. We get to see the X's.
Yep.
Right?
Here we go.
And I think they all put this together that they're going to find that out, right?
Another giveaway that this is going to happen is that as everybody like they all get back to, or they get to the new Jeju house, like staggered, but they actually let them like walk in as the groups that they traveled with, the dates that they traveled with. So everybody's seeing this is the first time ever in the season that people are allowed to know who dated who publicly. Right. Which is basically it's going to be because we're about to like tell you everything anyway. Yeah. Especially since like tonight they're going to just tell people who texted who.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like it's not going to be a secret anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get a shot of Hui-hyun seeing Dongjin and Haewon arrive, and he's a little shocked because he thought she was into Juwon for some reason.
Was it Juwon or Kwante? I feel like every guy thinks that every girl's into Kwante.
That is true, but I think here in this specific moment, he does say Juwon.
It was Juwon? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said he didn't even realize that like Haewon and Dongjin talked that much. I bet I could see that not actually knowing they talked that much, yeah. Because they didn't talk that much, it seemed, for a while.
Yeah.
And then they did, and I could see them having done it like not very publicly. So
yeah, exactly.
Can't blame them too much. Oh yeah, also Juwon has changed his hair.
Yes,
which I did not notice until So-kyun noticed.
It is less permed or something.
Yeah. Okay. We're revealing X's.
Okay. Yeah.
Any I don't think there was too much fallout from just looking at who came back from the dates.
No, I think it was just mostly that Hui-Hyun moment of, oh,
Okay.
what's happening? I'm so confused.
Yeah. Here we go. Extra reveals. This was fun to watch.
Why did they do the intro and then do a 60-second countdown before they reveal it? Like, what is the purpose of that? Just
They
to
didn't make
stress
us
them
watch
out?
60 seconds, did they? Did we?
I know, but like they
for
did
them,
that to the participants. They made them sit there while 60 seconds counted down on this freaking screen.
I think it's worth it for them and for them in the moment. It gives you a minute to like at least prepare yourself. Like I think they all needed that minute to be like, okay, it's actually happening right now, as opposed to just
minute. Like is a long time in the moment, though. You know, like
I don't know.
I
think you would
unnecessarily stressful.
I think you would appreciate the little bit of extra time. We'd be like, okay, it's actually happening, but I still have 60 seconds to gather myself. Or it gives me a chance to start crying full before of dread. Is that how you would feel?
Just like a countdown makes me terribly anxious, you know? Like I'm like, let's just start it and get it over with already.
Just a countdown.
A countdown is never good unless you're like going to space, you know? I don't want
like
one. New Year's.
It's New Year's. You're
New Year's is fine because that has no like repercussions. It's just whatever. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I thought for a second that they were gonna show the string ribbon choices as well.
Yeah,
but I don't
really
think
thought
they
were going to. They did. As far as we saw, they didn't. I feel like that somebody would have brought that up. Like if they showed it and didn't tell us about it, like somebody would be like, "I can't believe you cut the string on us" or something. You know, like
yeah,
that would. I mean,
it would have been maybe interesting to let the exes see each other's decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad they didn't show other people their decisions because I feel like the other people would read like way too much into that moment.
Yeah,
that they decided to cut the string or not cut the string, which like clearly is not reflecting how they currently are thinking about their situations. Yeah.
Although they have all recently gotten a chance to upgrade their string status, and most people didn't change.
Whether you cut the string or not, it's like this decision doesn't actually mean what you might think it means.
That's true.
For each individual person. So, yeah, I think it would be a little unfair to show the people that are newly trying to date you what you did in a
absolute chaos.
Yeah.
It would just be terrible.
Yeah. But if they wanted to make the exes feel a certain way about each other. Although I feel like
they should have done that in the X room, you know?
Yeah, they could have done the X room. They must have thought about it, right?
Yeah.
And every single X scenario would have been one person cut it and the other person didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they just decided that whatever they want, like that wouldn't be good. Like there's more drama if they remain kind of
unclear about motivations.
Yeah, confused about where their ex stands. Not that the actual ribbon cutting or not cutting would actually clear anything up, but they would read into it. They would
think
to
it had
feel like they've resolved their situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're revealing the exes.
Yeah. Okay. First is Haewon and Hui-Hyun, and I wasn't sure if they showed the bit where he admitted to lying about why he broke up with her and that he was still interested in getting back with her. You know, because that was in their conversation when they meet up in the cafe, right?
You're saying they didn't show it in its totality, or did they just not show it to us?
Yeah, I'm like, well, I'm just not sure. Like, we didn't see it in this edit of the show right now, but I just wonder if it was in there.
I assume they would have just shown everything we saw, but they could have two completely different edits, like one for the TV show and then one for whatever they see.
Yeah,
that could be true. That sounds like a lot of work for production, but maybe they think it's worth it. Manipulating the audience is different than manipulating them, for sure.
Yeah. But like that's him saying that he more or less says that he's come here to get back with her in that conversation, and that is really similar.
We're talking about Dongjin?
No, we're talking about Hui-Hyun.
Oh, Hui-Hyun. Sorry, they were first. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Hui-Hyun.
Yeah. And like that is basically the equivalent to him, like to them showing him not cutting their ribbon, right? Like it's kind of like that, you know?
Yeah. I remember, after seeing theirs, that's how I felt. Yeah, that he was definitely trying to get back together. and he was there to like redeem himself in her eyes.
Yeah.
Or in his own eyes or whatever. But
or something. Yeah. Which lasted all of like 10 minutes. But yeah, I don't know.
One note I wrote down before they actually did the extra reveal was a confession with Yoo-jung. And Yoo-jung feels like there's a chance that Ju-won wants to get back together with Seok-yoon. And Yoo-jung doesn't want Ju-won to pick her if he still has any feelings for his ex at all. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very hard line. I mean, maybe she's isn't specifying the exact feelings that he doesn't want her to have, but like any feelings, any feelings.
I mean, I will respect this as a line as like a person who has dated someone too soon after they broke up with someone else. Like, I get wanting to make sure that they have resolved their feelings before they actually move on, you know? It is a safer bet.
But did you like know that they still had feelings? Or you didn't know and then that's what made it bad?
Well, it's just like we broke up pretty soon because like he had unresolved, not like feelings about wanting to be with her still, but just like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like there's definitely like baggage that came over from that relationship that contributed to the end of our relationship then.
Okay. But it felt bad enough that you wish you hadn't dated that person at all.
I wish the timing had been different on
I understand you wish it's better, but it's like, okay, if you go into a situation, you're like, oh, I'm vibing with this person. I know they have this weird thing, you know. You just know, you go into it knowing that, and it's like, I don't know, you totally give up on somebody just because they might still have feelings for somebody else. I don't know. It seems a little bit of a hard line to me, but...
Well, I mean, there's no reason like, okay, this is a weird TV show moment that kind of puts weird time constraints on things. But like in a real, actual, normal situation, it would just be like, yeah, I'm into you, but let's wait a little while before we do anything with this because I just want you to sort your shit out first. Like, that feels real reasonable to me.
But even that's like, you're kind of punting and removing any control or impact on the situation that you could have. I don't know. My only thought was like, okay, maybe she doesn't like Ju-won that much. Like, she likes him, but she's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to win him over from somebody else if he's wavering at all, you know. But maybe Yoo-jung just isn't somebody that would do that. Like, she was just like,
yeah, I think
if I'm not your number one,
in that.
I have to be your number one, and you can't even have a number two.
Yeah. I see it as her like protecting herself, you know, like she doesn't want to feel like there's anything else that he'd rather be, you know, anyone else he'd rather be with.
Okay, but then why did she tell Kwante to keep trying?
Because she didn't know how to get out of that conversation without being like real rude to him.
Okay, all right. Well, she's gonna get a text from Kwante. She doesn't. She didn't seem too upset by it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really, really hard standard to be consistent with. I think you're just walking into hypocrisy.
It's also like impossible to tell, you know, like if somebody else still, you know, has gotten rid of all their feelings for someone else.
Yeah, that's also the case.
You got no way to go.
It actually is like almost an impossible standard to meet, especially on this show, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, there's no way anybody's leaving
this show's messy as hell.
Zero feelings about her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's on the wrong show, honestly.
Yeah, probably. Yep.
Yeah. Who else do we get? Well, who's next? I didn't write down like a lot of this we already saw, so I didn't write down like any.
Yeah, I just wrote down a few reactions.
Oh, yeah, I wrote down pretty much nothing until like it was fun to watch. I liked watching their reactions to the extra feels, but I didn't write much down until we got to Sungjung and Kwante's ex.
I just like there's a bit before Dongjun and Dahye's happens where Dongjun gets up and he's like, I gotta go find a bunch of tissues. This is not like I was surprised that production had not provided them with the tissues.
I think they were just like weren't they just across the room?
Something like that, yeah. But I just
courtyard.
thought they would be properly placed already ahead of time.
Was he getting them for him or for other people that he knew were crying?
I think
around him.
Well,
I don't know.
I think
he must have cried, right? I don't actually remember.
I think he did seem like he was tearing up a bit, yeah.
Yeah. This was an interesting point though. I felt like after Dahye watched Chongjin and Yoo-jung, she had the reaction that you did. Where he was like, Chongjin seems like a bad boyfriend now or something.
Yeah. She was like, Yeah, I can see how he would be frustrating as a boyfriend.
It's almost like the show did him like real dirty with the edit somehow. Or actually, I feel like he might have done himself dirty with how
bad of a boyfriend he was.
Not about how bad of a boyfriend was, but even he says like he regrets not like talking more in the pre-meeting.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the only reason he came across bad is like he didn't say enough, and it seemed like they were leaving something out. But in reality, it was like, oh, they both just kind of like didn't communicate with each other until they broke up. It was like very normal, it seemed. But fortunately, Dahe doesn't seem too deterred based on the aftermath of the night.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when they talked about like their exes or whatever, and maybe what they do, I feel like he's expressed like, oh, I didn't communicate enough, or I wish I had done this better. So she's probably heard stuff like that makes her feel like maybe he's, on a path to getting better or being a better boyfriend, like she's probably had some insight into Hope on that front,
Oh wait, like what Changjin's saying to her privately?
Yeah, like when they're talking about like their exes and maybe their regrets or whatever. I'm sure like something in there has like maybe reassured her that like he has grown from the boyfriend he was during that relationship,
Oh, okay, yeah. I'd be interested to see that conversation, but Changjin is a little weird for me. Where like I don't know how much I would like Changjin if he wasn't interested in Dahe, but everything he does with Dahe,
fair.
Is I'm enjoying to watch.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think like I would be interested in Changjin if he like was in like Kwante's position on the show. Where like,
probably not.
No girl is like super into him. Yeah.
He wouldn't be having any opportunity to show us, him being cute or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. He'd be even less interesting than Kwante, probably. Yeah. All right. Anything else before we get to the new exes?
Oh, everyone is absolutely sure by the end of this that Kwante and Sung Chung are exes. They're like, oh yeah, clearly no one else is showing up. These two, we knew it all along.
I think they literally showed Dongjin guess every girl's ex is going to be Kwante.
It is pretty funny, yeah. He is very confused the whole way through. Oh, and yeah, of course, everybody is absolutely shocked about the length of Dahe and Dongjin's relationship.
Oh yeah, of course.
But we get a lot of confessionals of people being like just really impressed that they were able to be in a relationship that long. So I don't know, maybe not everybody's taking it as this daunting, scary thing, I guess.
Yeah, some of them had the better look at it where it's like, oh, like now it's like, oh, they're like proven people that they can have a long relationship. Like if anything, they're like, I felt like they almost like looked at them like they were like gods. Like, oh, like you've been in a real long-term relationship. Like,
yeah,
like you're amazing. That's like that's unheard of.
I could never fathom it.
I can't even imagine. And if they all could see their confessionals on that, they probably would be questioning each other. I can't even imagine being in a long-term relationship. Okay. All right. Did they do this last season last season there was only one more person they hadn't introduced.
Uh-huh.
And did they do the same way? It was the exact same way.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember if that was the case. Okay. So it's like they bring up Songjong going into the pre-meeting, and then they're like about to show the guy, and then they like turn it off, and then some like car lights come on in the distance. It's like a WWE entrance.
Except with less dramatic theme music. Yeah.
They definitely had, for Songjong's ex, they definitely had some super dramatic entrance music.
I guess less silly entrance music. How about that?
Silly? WWE entrances are silly?
Some of them are. A lot of them are pretty theatrical and silly. Yeah.
Oh, theatrical, yes, yeah. They didn't have the budget to do WWE style entrances, but from what it looked like on TV, it was like there's music, there's lights, it's WWE style.
Fair, yeah.
All right, we're meeting Minhyun, Songjong's ex.
Yes, he is 27 and used to be a short track speed skater, and now he's a surgeon because you can just switch careers real easy like that from maybe not pro athlete, but I'm assuming pro athlete to surgeon, a notoriously difficult doctor position. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he was like on the national speed skating team. Did it say that, or if he just?
It didn't say. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at like what point in his life he met Song Jung.
How far he got with.
We actually haven't gotten their backstory yet, right?
That's correct.
Okay, because we're gonna get the Quante and his ex, but they're saving this one, and I have a feeling I'm not gonna like it. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, here's what the host said about Min Hyun.
Mm-hmm.
He's really handsome. He looks like a young noble, but he doesn't seem like an athlete.
Burn, I guess.
It sounds like it's like a super sick burn out of context, but it's in the context of they know Song Jung's an athlete, I guess.
But I think it's an extra burn because
Either way,
he actually was an athlete.
Yeah. They also say he looks stylish. Fashion industry, a businessman, and then he's a surgeon. Apparently, this is like the first doctor that's been on this show. We've seen doctors on the other shows.
Oh, did they mean the show? Oh, all the seasons
on Transit Love. I think that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
But then we're about to meet Quante's ex, and she's also a doctor, so they're going to be both doctors. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, as soon as he shows up, Song Jung just like breaks down crying immediately and says that she really, really missed him.
Yeah, she says this out loud, which is actually going to be something that she thinks a lot about later. But I didn't even write it down at the time. It was just, I think, yeah, okay. So she said like publicly, right? I really, really miss you, like across the courtyard, basically, when he shows up. Okay.
Yes.
I see what she was worried about then. Okay. Yeah, she's just so happy to see someone that might actually like her.
Might actually text her, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Fair.
All right. Anything else? Ready for Quante's?
Yeah, I think we're ready for Quante.
Jung-un.
Yes, she is a 30-year-old doctor, but she's like a general practice doctor, like just you'd go to see for a regular checkup, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what it seemed like. Hosts say she's beautiful. She looks very pure. I still don't know to this day. They've said that so many times. Still not 100%.
Yeah,
sure
I don't know. It makes me cringe every time I hear it, though. I don't like it.
I don't like it either, yeah. And she has her own presence, which...
Yeah, whatever that means.
I don't know exactly what the Korean translation of that is, but in English, that sounds like, I don't have anything to say about this person, so I'll just say she has her own presence. So, yeah, not the best host comments you could get, I don't think.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
I mean, nobody said she could be a model, which I feel is usually the go-to one for the hottest people or whatever, right?
I don't know how often the hosts say that, but usually that's a very common
thing. Oh, I
guess
that's true. Yeah.
But okay. Also, like, I don't know how much footage of her they watched before making these comments, but from our perspective, we saw her face for like literally a second, and then they just cut to the host, and it's like, she's beautiful, she's very pure, she has her own presence.
To be fair, the moment that it cut to the host, I was in the process of saying, dang, she cute. So, I got enough to
yeah, but you didn't say she looks pure and she has her own presence.
Well, yeah, because
like the she's beautiful line. I get that. That's a 1 second. You can get a 1 second reaction on that. Somebody having their own presence. That doesn't seem like a 1 second reaction, but
well, they have a better edit than us because
that's what
they
I'm
don't
wondering.
have to watch themselves.
Yeah. Okay. 30 years old. Yeah, also a doctor. How old's Quante? He's younger, right?
He is 26, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's actually a lot younger. Okay.
So yeah, they were then going to get their whole like backstory about their relationship. And one of the first things she says is that she thought he was a baby when they first met because he was so much younger than her.
Well, these are the two that had the mutual photographer friend. And
yes.
They took pictures together outside of a library. As they were the stand-in couple for the pictures.
Yes.
And then sparks flew or something.
Yeah.
Until they died down not too long later. Right?
Yes,
what are we talking about? 6 months. This is a 6-month relationship we're talking about here. Okay.
And they broke up 11 months ago. So a little less fresh.
That's like the longest.
Most of the
that's like the
ones,
longest a go breakup in this entire cast, isn't it?
I think
we haven't met Songjeon and Min
Hui-hyun and Haewon were also closer to a year.
That. Oh yeah, they were also 11.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is like 4 months.
Yeah, so he's
their whole deal. Yeah, their whole deal is that this little baby was always just like, "I love you so much. Oh my god, I love you," and she's like, "I'm not gonna say that ever, thanks." And it got real weird.
6 months. Not in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long? Okay. How long is too fast, and how long is too long?
I don't know. Life is short. Say it when you mean it. That's all
I got. Is
it
somewhere in between? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's somewhere in between whenever Kwante said it and 6 months, though.
Yeah.
Like a normal range. So I feel like they're both very on the like polar opposites of the spectrum.
Oh yeah.
Like...
I think she said that like the day he asked her out, he's like, "I love you." Like that's
something like that.
That's a little fast. Yeah.
That's fast, yeah. That's fast for sure. But 6 months is also depending on the regularity that you see each other, 6 months is
it's
seems like a long time.
I can understand why by that point he was maybe frustrated with, not knowing exactly how she felt about him.
Yeah.
But it does seem like they were just not on the same page about like what their relationship was or where it was going or like even the threshold for what it means to say I love you, like they're just not aligned on any of these things.
Yeah. Did we get a breakdown of like how often they actually spent time together? I actually don't know.
It seems like there was nothing prohibiting them from, getting together on the regular. It's not like they had, I think he was in school at the time, but like they were in the same area and they showed a lot of them going on like crafty dates. Seemed like, normal cadence.
Yeah, so she had a job. It was only 11 months ago. So yeah, she worked, but he, what, I guess 11 months ago, or what would it be?
Well, when they meet up in the restaurant,
it's like a year and a half.
She's like,
ago.
"Oh, you've gragraduated from school."
Oh,
so
he was
still in school at the time.
He said like he was just going to the gym all the time. He didn't have a job. He was just going to the gym. But I guess he was also schooling. Okay.
But yeah, by the end of this, like he was even talking about like marriage and their future together.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. I think that's what it gets.
This is too much.
I think I could deal with somebody telling me they love me, even if I don't reciprocate. But the talking about marriage and the future, and you haven't even said I love you yet, is a little like, I think I should end this now.
And she like ended it not in a, I think we need to part ways. She just like was like, "Stop trying to get me to say it. I do not love you." And it's like, oof.
Yeah, she went full the other direction. So yeah, to this day, she said, "I don't love you" more times than I love you. To Kwante.
Accurate, yes.
Yeah. Did we get who invited who on the show?
He asked her to be on the show.
He asked her. Okay.
Because he asked her why she agreed to be on it, and she said it's because she feels bad about how things ended, mostly. Yeah. I think she just feels bad for yelling, "I do not love you" at him.
I wrote, Kwante says, "We really hit it off. We have similar personalities. We had the same MBTI types and looked alike, too. That's why I was attracted to her." Bro just wants to date himself, right? Respect.
I mean, if he could, they'd be on the same page about when to tell each other they loved each other,
Sarah, you would date yourself, right? Or not?
I guess.
That was a great self-assessment.
I mean, I guess.
I'd date myself. Why not? I'm pretty great.
I don't know. I guess when I think about relationships, I think about I wouldn't want someone exactly the same as me, I would want like a partner who can have different skills and assess things differently than me, to balance out this experience. If I had to double down on just anxiety-ridden like nonsense, it would be a bad time.
Yeah. Ideally, your partner is good at the things you're not good at, but also overall Sarah's pretty common opinions about the world. So
yeah,
it's like
there's a balance.
It's basically
be made, definitely.
You basically want like you, but a different skill set.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I think I can make it work with myself though. We'd be pretty happy together.
Me,
myself, and I.
With myself, I would probably just Yeah, definitely retreat into the woods to be spooky witches that, yeah, like, you'd never see us again. Full hermit mode.
Okay. Oh, wait, there was a moment, though. I swear. Okay, this happened, right? Okay, Quante, they described, like, when Quante, like, first asked her out, right?
Uh-huh.
It felt like Quante basically gave her, like, an ultimatum.
Yeah, he was like...
He's like, I'm asking you on a date, and if you say no, you're never going to see me again.
Yes. He's like, I am very clearly not here for the friendship. I just want to date you. That's it. I mean...
Bro knows what he wants.
I
he wants himself.
I gotta respect the clarity, you know?
Yeah. She knew what she was getting into.
Yeah. But I mean, and it worked because she was like, "Oh, I'd be sad if I never saw him again." So well, I guess,
yeah, I mean.
But she also never loved him. So, oops, I don't know, man. It's a mess.
Did he just go like, "Do you want to marry me? If you say no, this relationship is over." And then she was like, "I actually don't love you."
I mean, also kind of like I'm not one to vote for ultimatums, but like if somebody's ready to get married and somebody's definitely not, maybe it's time to move on, you know? Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't get the ultimatum thing, but I mean, if you're willing to give an ultimatum to somebody, as long as you're just ready for them to say no,
yeah,
and moving on with your life. I just hate the like, I'm gonna give an ultimatum, and then when they say no, it didn't actually like change anything. And the other person isn't like bothered by it. That I don't really get. But
yeah, that's just a weird, messy situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you're at a point where like the one thing is more important than being with the person, then
yeah, I think it's an extreme thing that I don't think I would ever do. But you can kind of understand it a little bit. Yeah.
I don't agree with like the process, but like the thing behind it of a like we are fundamentally incompatible on this front makes sense to me as a reason to part.
Yeah, we would prefer the like, hey, do you want to go on a date? But if you don't, we can still be friends. Don't need to do
but
the
if he's not looking for friends, I mean,
I guess.
Yeah. He came on a little strong.
You can also say we can just be friends, and then when they say no, you just kind of like don't hang out with them that much anymore. But I guess the ultimatum's more clear.
Or I mean, you could just ask them out and not mention repercussions on any side of it. You know?
Yeah. Okay. That is fair.
It's fine.
Okay. Anything else we need to know about Quante and Jong-un?
I think that is pretty much it. It was a mismatch of feelings, I guess.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately for Jong-un, Quante, or maybe not, I don't know how much she really cares about Quante, but Quante has been on the show the whole time. So, I don't know, I just feel like he is like a little bit over whatever he was feeling at the start of the show, or even when he invited her on the show. I don't know.
But things haven't exactly been going his way either.
It hasn't, but from what we're going to see in episode 13, it's just like, it doesn't, I don't even get the sense that he's even thinking about her. I felt same. I feel like Jong-un like almost wasn't even part of episode 13 if it weren't for Dahye coming to get her.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll see. Maybe there's isn't a major story with Jong-un.
Yeah, that might be
going to play out, but okay. All right, we got a text. Please check the envelope under the table.
I think this is the first time we've gotten a letter hidden in place already.
Last season, it was like,
I don't know if it was like a PA bringing a letter or something.
It was like they definitely gave them a letter, but they had to like go get it, and maybe they just didn't know where the mailbox was. I forget, but yeah. Also, it was weird. Like only Quante got the text, and then he was supposed to tell the group. It wasn't like everybody got the text.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. They might have actually done it the exact same way last year. Like one person got the text, and then they went to go find it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
All right, what does the envelope say?
New participants, Minhyung and Jonghyun, welcome. Choose the person you want to go out with tomorrow now. Choose your date and ask them out right here on the spot. You're not allowed to choose your ex.
Yeah, Changjin had to do the same thing pretty much. At least, he had to have dinner with them a little bit, right? And then...
Yeah, it feels like they did not have any time to
talk at all.
got
the talking room at least. So yeah, this is a little rough. Although, what I'm wondering, I feel like before they came out, so they showed all the extra
I'm hoping they
reels.
got to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they got to watch all those.
They showed all the extra reels, and then the new people came. So they didn't watch it with everybody. But they must have watched them all before.
Like behind the scenes or before. Yeah. Yeah.
Which means their selections are actually kind of based on seeing who the exes are and how they kind of treated each other, which is a little interesting. Unless they're going to have some amazing interaction or eye contact, I guess is what's going to happen in the time that they sat on the couch.
Yeah.
Now, did they watch their extra reveals with everybody? Like, we only get Quante's, but I'm assuming they watched all 6 of them.
Yeah. I think they watched them, yeah.
All right. So Jong-un chooses Dongjin. Dongjin is pumped to have been chosen. He was mad excited.
He is extremely excited.
He's like, yes!
She chooses him because he seems bubbly. So
that's a read.
Yeah.
Now, did she get that from the extra reveals that she watched? Like, what? Actually, if we watch the extra reveals and you have to pick a guy,
like a sad boy, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. Like, if I had to pick a guy out of the extra reveals, like, you're probably not picking Chongjin. Chongjin probably looks the worst, right? Huihun probably doesn't look that great from the extra reveals.
No, yeah, definitely not. Oh, is Juwon look the best from the extra reveals? That can't be true. They don't like in what they show. I think it's just it's just that their dinner meetup, right? They don't like show a lot of the behind the scenes or the pre-interview stuff that we see, right? Or do they show a little bit of that? They definitely don't go in through the whole breakup.
You think they're just showing the pre-meeting? Okay.
Yeah.
And then who am I forgetting? She can't pick Quante.
Right.
Dongjin. It's between Dongjin and Quante. No, Dongjin and Juwon, basically. If you're just going out the extra reveals.
Well, also, I guess she can't pick Minhyung. I mean, they don't say she can't pick him, but it would be awkward, I guess.
I don't think she. Yeah. Like, if she picks Minhyung, but then Minhyung picks somebody else, does Minhyung just get 2 dates tomorrow?
Yeah, maybe. They probably tell them like don't pick the other person.
I don't know. Yeah, I was actually wondering. Okay, it's like, is it a coincidence that the 2 people they left off the show till now were both doctors? Like, that just it's a little weird.
I kind of wonder if they were just busy doctor schedules and made it easier for them to show up later.
That might be what it is. Okay. I was wondering, like, is there a thing where, like, too many people will like the doctors, or, like, they're worried the 2 doctors will just match up and then they won't have any interactions with their exes? Like,
or just them being doctors will make them stronger game changers later. Like, they'll have that as an advantage to get people interested in them, maybe.
That might be a thing.
I don't know.
That might be a thing, yeah. Okay, so I guess Dongjin makes sense because the extra reveals probably eliminated a few guys for her. And then for me, when I was watching this on whatever website I watched it on, the subtitles just stopped working.
Yes, same. I was just like, what the fuck?
But fortunately, it was only like a minute, and I believe
they repeat that minute at the beginning of the next episode.
Oh yeah, I guess
anyway.
they did. Yeah, they did. Okay, yeah. So Minhyun,
and from context clues, you can figure it out.
Yeah, Minhyun chooses Seokhyun. Which is what Songjong predicted he would do in the after the fact interview. Yeah.
When these picks happen, we get shots of Haewon being upset and Songjong being more upset because she was already kind of crying.
Wait, Haewon was upset? Sorry.
Haewon was upset that Dongjin got picked.
Oh, okay.
And then Songjong was upset about her ex picking anyone, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, she was just crying the whole time anyway, so it was kind of...
But it's also like she had predicted that he would pick Seokhyun, so maybe there's something there also. Just like, oh, of course, this is who you're going to pick.
Do you think she actually predicted it? Like, this was a confessional she did? Like, the producers were like, hey, if your ex was here, who would he choose?
Oh, well, I think they do that with everybody, like, pretty much early on, right? Like, they're just like, who here do you think is your ex's type? Like, we've had that show up before.
So you don't think she's just, like, narrating after the fact?
I mean, that might also be true.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Seokhyun. So if we do the same thing with the girls, who looks best in the extra reveals?
I mean,
Dahae's like a no. Dahae's like a no. Right?
Really? Well, I guess just from the sheer amount of upset and crying, but
yeah, I think
my firm
Dai's...
stance of I will hear no slander about Dai makes it hard for her to not be the top of
You
my
said about her
list.
looks. I mean, from the
No
beginning, I
slander
said
about
there's
her
no way. Like
whatsoever.
from the oh really whatsoever. I mean,
Well,
in the
okay. I
early
mean, you
days, I
were
was like
right.
in the introductions, like there's no way, I'm using my text on Dahye after the
Yeah,
introduction
which
letters.
is fair. Yeah, but she's just my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree now, but if I was out there on the
Uh-huh.
show, I don't know. Yeah, in the early days, I wouldn't have been messing with her. I don't think.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Sakyun was probably, I forget like who was really crying.
Yeah, I don't think based on the X
Sakyun makes it. It's probably
thing,
it's
I don't
probably a
think
looks thing more than
K1
anything.
would be I don't think I would have picked K1 just given that whole conversation she had with Hyun. So in Sokyun she does talk about like being mean, like their breakup being really like mean to each other, which is maybe not a great sign. So maybe well, but we didn't see Songjung, so I don't know. It's either Yujong or Songjung, I guess.
Well, he can't pick Songjung, so.
All right. He can't.
And he picked Sokyun. I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird spot to be in. It's just like watch these people talk to their ex and then choose one of them.
Yeah. Oof.
Very weird. Okay. What do I know though? This happened last year, and then it had the longest lasting relationship
It's true.
in the history of the show, as far as I know.
Yeah. I haven't checked, but they're maybe still together or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Episode 13. Here we go. Ready? That's
All right.
That's under 12. All right.
Yeah. There are 3 different houses they're divided up into, and it's 2 women and 2 men per each house. It looks like there's only 3 beds, right? There's a room with a big bed, and then there's a room with 2 smaller beds.
Yeah, I didn't see every choice they made, but it looked like they're making looks like the women are sleeping together in the same bed and the guys get the separate beds.
I think so, but I think there was also like because Juwon and Chungjin are in the same house, and now that it's been revealed that like Juwon's moving in on Chungjin's ex, their bromance is feeling complicated, and I think Juwon references like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to sleep right next to him," and I don't know if that meant like in the same bed or in the same room, but I kind of want them to have to share a bed just for the lulz.
Yeah, that would be funny. I did think about that at first, and I noticed, at least in one of the houses, that the women are sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah.
Like Huihyun and Kwante are definitely in this single bedroom.
Yeah, we did see that.
But I didn't actually write it down for everybody. Yeah, so production chose these. That was not how it was done last season. And then last season, there were like a few of the houses were like singles.
Yes. And then there was like some spaces that were like 3 beds in them, and everybody just kind of chose wherever.
Putting Chongjin and Juwon in the same house, easy.
Oh, that was on purpose.
Easy production decision. At first, it was like, oh, they didn't put any of the exes together, but actually, who's together? Oh wait, are any exes together?
No, there are no exes, but there are sort of current couples that are building that are together.
Actually, whenever I watch this show, I always have like a moment in time where I think Seokhyun and Huihyun are exes, and I don't know why. In my head they're exes for some reason.
Well, if Huihyun has his way, maybe someday they will be.
I think it's because like I just saw them. I felt like they were like flirting early on, and then it like I got it in my head in like episode 1 that they would be exes, and I just can't get that out of my head.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. All right. We found out Minhyun picked Seokhyun because she made eye contact with him.
Yes.
When he was talking to everybody for a little bit. Yeah, this is what every single guy has said about Seokhyun at some point in the show. It's like, I really liked when she was making eye contact with me. Is it just making eye contact? Or is it something about like Seokhyun's eyes in particular?
Oh, maybe.
Like, is this just a thing? Like, oh, if you want somebody to like you, just make eye contact with them? Because I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's not true. It shows you're paying attention to them. It shows that like you're at least direct enough to like not get shy and look away, and that might be appealing.
I feel like it works for Seokhyun, or maybe it's just these guys it works on. But for me, I feel like some people make eye contact so much that I find it uncomfortable. But
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
Salkin's not actually doing that. It's just like just the right amount of eye contact where it's
I feel like
it's
she's
more
doing
than
the
everybody
bare
else, but
minimum
not too much.
amount, you know?
Yeah.
And just everyone else is falling short.
I don't even think she's doing it on purpose or anything. It's just like this is just how she is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I definitely know people where it's like too much eye contact for me. But maybe those people were flirting with me and I didn't realize.
Maybe. You know, sometimes you walk away and 2 days later you're like, God damn it. Totally
years later.
that.
Years later.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, when I was in high school, like for whatever reason, I just like didn't think about anything in like a romantic sense. Or it's not, no, that's not, I won't even say that's true. Like I didn't think, I felt like I had feelings about people, but it never like occurred to me that I could like try to date somebody. Like that was not, it wasn't even a thought process.
And therefore it did not occur to you that anyone else might be trying to date you.
Yeah, and then in retrospect, I was like, oh, like when I got to college, I was like, oh, maybe these girls in high school like were flirting with me, and I didn't even like occur to me that was like a thing that could happen. I don't know.
Fair. Yeah. For me, I cannot distinguish when a woman is flirting with me until like days later when I'm like, oh wait, maybe that was she wasn't just being nice. I don't know.
Do you have any confirmation that somebody was?
No.
Okay.
I mean, but I've had pretty good feeling afterwards where I'm like, oh, okay, wait. Well, it's like,
do you follow up on any of those?
These are like people I've not like actually known, and therefore like I
don't have like
once or whatever. You know,
you don't have their contacts or anything.
Yeah, I don't have a way to circle back on that. You
gotta go on like one of those like missed connections websites or whatever.
Oh, I guess.
Where it's like 2 days ago I had this conversation with somebody at this place, and I realized now
you told me your dress had pockets, and
yeah.
I said,
you try to get as specific as possible and hope somebody goes on the same website with the same feelings as you. I've definitely seen stories like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next time, Sarah.
I guess we'll see.
Okay. So Dahae and Changjin are together in a house. Let's go.
Yeah,
Dongjin and Hyeon are together.
Also love that. Mm-hmm.
There's also a fourth house connected to this courtyard. Are we getting more people on the show, Sarah?
I think they just got a place that's maybe too big for their needs and are using all of the buildings.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a little too crazy to add anybody else at this point, but
yeah. We've got 12 people on this show now.
There's also a common area building and like they call it a green yard, which is like a field with like a hangout section under a tree, right?
Yes.
Nobody's gone to the tree yet, but it's been dark.
But it also looks like it's got a lot of lights in it and looks really cute.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a ways from everything else though, so.
Yeah, that's probably the problem.
All right. We're making dinner, Sarah.
As far as the subtitles are concerned, the Muscleman's Health Kitchen is back.
I missed that. That's great.
What was the one? Kwante and Dongjin cooking. Oh yeah. There was no reference to them cutting their meats or handling their meats or whatever.
From behind.
Yes, from behind. This time, just Muscleman's Health Kitchen is back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so everybody, they like scatter kind of to like go to their rooms, right? And then they get changed or whatever before they come back.
Yeah, I guess Songchung's like suitcase has disappeared or something.
Oh, is that what it was? That was the excuse she used?
Yeah, so she borrows a hoodie from Hui-hyun, and Minhyung like notices straight away that it is not a hoodie that belongs to her. And it's like, where did that come from? What's going on? He's
like really uncool about everything. Like it's like, it's like the first time talking to her, and he's like, I saw your picture on somebody's phone. What's that all about? And then he's like, also this hoodie you're wearing, that's not yours, right? Whose is it?
Yeah, weird energy, Minhyung. Like tone it down.
At least it's the first thing we saw him say to Songchung.
Yes.
Yeah, they like all eating dinner. If you have anything else before this, interrupt me. But they're like all eating dinner, and then they're like kind of more openly talking about everything because they know all the exes now.
Yes.
And then I think Hyeon is saying to Seokhyun, like, I knew from the beginning like Hui-hyun would like you.
Oh yeah, and Sokyun's
like,
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Meanwhile, don't even look at me.
Meanwhile, the last like 3 episodes have been all about how
he's just like, oh my god, Sokyun.
Yeah. And Sokyun has no idea.
And then Kwante's even like, but you went on a date with him today. And she's like, no, I didn't. Like,
it's like, I was on a date with you, Kwante, and exactly. He was dating Songjang. It was a double date.
They are living in entirely different realities right now.
All right. Anything else before texting?
Dahae does get a lot of teasing about her
13 years?
13-year-long relationship. That might be her new nickname. I don't know.
Yeah, Chongjin is literally just calling her 13 years.
Yeah.
Which is a very odd nickname.
Yeah, I
Yo, 13 years, what's up? Like they're like 10 years into their marriage, and he's like, 13 years, what's the hell you doing? How was your day?
What happens when they get to 13 years? Does it have to change then?
Then you're really doubling down on it. I don't know.
All right, I think it's texting time. All right, so Gwante gets 2 texts, one from his ex, Jongun, and then one from Sokyun, thanking him for driving. But I will say, he did cook today. So.
Yeah, he did cook, and had a meal with her.
The string remains alive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we know driving's a thing for Sokyun now.
Yeah.
Driving could definitely come up again. You know, these dates in Jeju are kind of like drive yourself around.
That is true.
Okay. If we need a day where like somebody else cooks, but another guy drives her somewhere. We have to see what wins.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's the only way we'll know. I think it'll be cooking, but you know.
I would bet on cooking as well.
Then Songjang gets 1 text, and it is from her ex Minhyun.
Have you been well? I hope you won't cry and will stay happy throughout the week. Instead of fighting, let's be on good terms. Not getting good vibes from Minhyun already. Like, why are we assuming that we'd be fighting?
Like, what? Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I mean, I've seen the show. I know what can happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd be talking about not fighting.
Yeah, that's not the kind of energy you want to bring.
Yeah. I'm
be
very
like, hey,
worried.
It's nice to see you.
Worried.
What's up?
I'm hoping I just don't like Minhyun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm worried that Songjung's gonna get mixed up in this.
It might
in
be
a way
both
that
of them.
I might not like either of them. But okay.
Yeah, we'll see. But hey, she gets a text for once in quite a long while.
Yeah,
so that's something.
It's like, yeah, I don't know if you were on the show for a week, maybe it hasn't been a week for her, but say you were on the show for a week, like nobody texts you, and then your ex comes and texts you. It's like, is it really gonna make you feel that much better? I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. Well, it depends on who you are. Like,
it depends on how much you want to get back with your ex.
Yeah. yeah. Then we got Yoojung gets 2 texts, one from Gwante, and one from Juwon. And this is they've started sending the names of the people who have sent the texts.
Yeah, the one that Kwante sends her is the first time they reveal it.
Yeah.
Kwante says, to be honest, it was less fun since I didn't come here with you. She reads this text. I don't know the timing of her reading the text and her facial expressions, but it looks like she reads that text, does not have a big reaction to it, because she probably assumes that this is from Chongjin. But then she gets the text that says this text was from Kwante, and she immediately smiles. She was looking. She went from annoyed to full of smiles. Now you could just say, "Hey, she's smiling about the production, the fact that production is texting them at all of who did it."
Yeah.
Or maybe she just hates Chongjin so much. But I don't know. She seemed a little happy that Kwante texted her, and then in a confessional, it seems like she's really loving the attention from Kwante. So,
yeah. I had actually read this differently. I thought it was like she was getting the text from Kwante, being like, ugh, whatever. Then got the text from Juwon, was like, yeah, nice. And then doesn't she make another upset face at the end? And I thought that was when she got the your ex chose Dahae text, and then was like, meh. I don't know.
I think they did this.
I'm misremembering this. Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess they could have divided up her facial expressions and the text and whatever, but it felt like they divided up her 2 texts when they sent them, and the Kwante one was definitely like when she got the text from Kwante, as they showed it to us, it was definitely like annoyed at first and then full of smiles after She found out it was from Kwante. And then later she gets a text from Juwon, and then she sees, like, she's happy about Juwon, but then immediately gets a text that Changjin texts Dahye, and then she has a less positive reaction to that text.
Okay. That's the part I'm remembering then. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, at least she's not, like, slamming Quante anymore, right? Like, she had been doing that in the confessional for a while.
Now I have to call her out on her hypocrisy.
Okay.
Yeah, before you were being unfair, but now you're being inconsistent. So there's something to criticize. No, I do think it's unfair because I don't know. I think she did him dirty a little bit in the confessionals, but now she's like, yeah, she's liking it, and it's also hypocritical because she doesn't want. Now, Quante's not her ex, so maybe this is a specific ex thing that she has issues with, but she doesn't want Juwon to have feelings for his ex, but she can have feelings for two guys, is what it looks like.
I think I never actually believed she had feelings for Quante, even if she is enjoying the attention.
Okay. That sounds like some real bullshit that you would not take that as an excuse. Right? Like if you were in a relationship with somebody and you had a problem with them.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't enjoy them like texting someone on the side just for like the attention. Yeah, that wouldn't be a pleasant time. No, yeah. But in this case where they're not actually together yet, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's iffy for sure. But we got to talk about, maybe we talked about this last season, if they did this last season. What do we like and don't like about these revealing who did every text and then letting people know who their ex texted? Maybe they did this last season.
I'm pretty sure. I thought they did. I like knowing who is texting who, like knowing who is sending you a text clears things up because people are bad at writing texts and bad at interpreting who they're coming from.
Yeah, like I don't want her to think this is from Changjin when it's not. I don't really think that's fun.
I do not like hey, guess who your ex texted, especially when the ex did not know that was what was going to happen ahead of time, you know?
Yeah. Who your ex is texting literally doesn't matter. Now, it might matter that they're not texting you, and you know that when you don't get a text from them. So that's fine. But who they're texting literally shouldn't matter.
None of your business.
Yeah. But even from like a production standpoint, what is the goal?
Oh, the goal is to get people stirred up and annoyed with their exes so they go have a fight and then maybe they make up and smooch.
But is that what it does? Like is that, I mean, the hosts really harp on this being a huge difference. Like there's a huge difference between not getting a text and knowing who they texted instead of you. Yeah. It's like, I guess emotionally you could pretend like, oh, they just didn't text anybody.
or something.
I don't really get it.
Or yeah.
Like my read was like, oh, are they trying to create infighting like between the men and between the women? Like they want like Seokhyun to get upset with Yoojung because she knows that she's dating.
Don't think that's it.
Okay.
I think it's, you know, that thing you hate where people are suddenly like overcome with feelings for their ex just because they're kind of jealous because they saw them with someone else. They're trying to trigger that.
And that's what this does. It actually does that.
I don't know if it actually accomplishes it, but I think that's what they're trying to do.
I just think this wouldn't trigger me at all. Like, however I was going to feel if they didn't text me, I don't think it would add anything to know who it was. For me personally.
Well, like they don't just do it for like this text, right? Like tomorrow, presumably you're going to get the same thing, right? And so then you also see the trend of, oh, they're consistently texting this one person. Maybe it's getting serious now. I have different extra feelings about that.
I can see that. Yeah. If they're texting the same person over and over again. But if anything that's going to, like, if they text the same person over and over again, I guess that would be kind of good for what we want on the show, where it should help them like get over their ex. I guess it's actually like a little more triggering if like somebody's switching between their ex and somebody else, and then every time they get the text, it's like, oh, they texted that other person. I don't know. Like, how would you? What's the difference in feeling if, like, say they did this from the beginning? Somebody like Hui Hyun would be seeing all the different guys that Seokhyun has been texting the whole time.
Yes.
Right?
You switched up Hui Hyun and Seokhyun again. They are not, in fact, exes.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Juwon would be seeing, like, all the different guys that Seokhyun's been texting. versus like I don't know who's been the most consistent, but like somebody that just texting the same person every time, but it's not you. Those are probably two different emotional reactions over time, right?
Yeah, I think the show's probably down for either of them, honestly.
Yeah. What Sawkyun's doing is probably more drama inducing though, right?
I mean, it depends on how you decide to read it. He could read it in a way where he's just like, she's not even interested in anybody and she's still not texting me. I'm annoyed.
Like
or
you think you still have a chance because she's flip-flopping so much.
Or yeah, it could also be like, yeah, she's not really interested in anybody. She doesn't have anything going. I don't have to be jealous or upset about this.
Yeah, plus she was texting Yujong like Juwon like sometimes. So yeah.
I think there's a lot of different ways you could read it, and a bunch of those do result in weird jealousy probably, and like the show's goal is to get exes back together, so I think that's what they're aiming towards.
Yeah. Why don't they just go, I don't know, why don't they just go full blown and just like have like a chart that they post on the bulletin board?
Yeah, well that's what I think I said that last season. I just want them to put up a full chart of everybody who texted everybody, and so it's just out in the open now.
Because like let's say like Dongjin texts Dahye all of a sudden. Like Hyewon doesn't know who Dongjin switched to, right?
Right. And Chongjin also doesn't know that her ex has suddenly started texting her either. You know, you could stir up that drama there too.
But Dahye would know, right? They still telling people if your ex.
Dahye would know, but like, no, but Chongjin wouldn't know that Dahye got a text from her ex, you know? Like, if we're going to cause mass hysteria or disruption or whatever, chart's the way to go.
If the goal, I don't know like how much information is like too much information, where it's like if you give everybody the information, then everybody's gonna like kind of see where they stand, and then they'll just like fall into line. Or it like, does there have to be some amount of confusion? I feel like this is almost like no confusion at this point anyway, and you're just like you're just like a little hung out to dry if you're not trying to get back with your ex, but the other person isn't texting you. So kind of like Songjong's situation. It's like she's texting Huihyun, but she doesn't really know for sure who Huihyun's texting.
Yeah, I think that's where the like mystery is how successful your ex is actually being with whoever they're texting, you know, if they're getting the reciprocation or not.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah, you don't know if so I guess there's a good amount of uncertainty, but okay. Yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think knowing that your ex just isn't texting you I think that's enough information.
It should be sufficient. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next we've got Jongin gets 0 texts because she just showed up today and her ex isn't going to text her.
Yep. Kwante's busy.
Yeah.
He's got a girl that is still interested. Yep. Okay.
Sokyun gets a text from Huihyun.
Only from Huihyun, yeah.
Only from Huihyun, yeah.
Huihyun's gonna think that she must have gotten text from more people. But it's actually not the case.
Oh, yeah. Which I feel like is also a thing to say, you know, just be like, of course you must be so popular. You must be getting all the texts. Who wouldn't text you?
It's like a nice thing to say, but it's also like from Sokyun's perspective, it's like annoying. If I go up to you, if I go up to him like, oh, thanks for the text, I really liked it, and they're like, it's no big deal. You probably got a text from everybody. That like make it seem like even to Huihyun it was no big deal, which is the vibe that Huihyun is giving off. Like Huihyun is like, yeah, no text anybody ever sent was a big deal. So
yeah, he definitely gets into that later with Haewon. And it's just like, yeah, the right? Text. No, like later when he's having an argument with Haewon, I thought it was.
Oh,
where he's just like texting doesn't mean anything.
He breaks it down with Songjong a lot about his opinion on the texting.
Or maybe it is with Songjong. I don't know. At some point, he's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter who you're texting, whatever. Like, who thinks too much about these texts? So he is definitely approaching the show, I feel, very differently from everyone else.
Yeah. Okay, so his text to her, though, was a reference that he said earlier in the day that that Sokyun looks like Taeyeon. Which is a singer, I believe I looked up.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We should talk about this cultural issue, if this is a real cultural issue.
Okay.
Since that's what we do on the show.
From our very, very informed perspective. Go ahead.
Well, Salkyun is in a confessional. Salkyun is saying that she's worried now because he's texted her this. It has to be on the TV show now, right? And
Yeah.
she's worried that she is going to get criticized for being compared to this
Taeyeon.
idol singer. Yeah. Which I feel like this came up on another show.
100%. Like this is a rational fear she is having right now.
Yeah, like this is
it is an irrational response from the internet, but she is being rational about what might happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what the hell? It doesn't make any sense.
The internet,
right? I don't think we talked about this before. We talked about it, like mentioned it offline. It's like somebody on the show says you look like somebody, and then you get ragged on by the fans for accepting the compliment.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Not our best. This is not our best work here. No. People can do better.
And I'll say I looked up Taeyeon. Never seen her before. I looked at her face for like 5 seconds. I see it. Why not?
Okay. I definitely saw a picture where they got the same dang bangs. So,
Okay.
Makes sense.
If I didn't see it also, that's fine too.
Yeah.
It's just Hui Hyun's opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
An opinion about a girl he is trying to woo. Like, give everybody a break.
Yeah. Okay. Just chillax, everybody.
I like to think that no one who listens to this podcast is part of this problem.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to hope that it's like a loud minority, right?
Yeah.
It has to be, right? Like there can't be that many totally irrational people in Korea. Like it can't be that widespread that this is.
I think that's probably true. Yeah, it is a loud vocal minority.
It's probably the same crossover of people that like hate when their favorite idols get into have relationships with people.
Yeah.
It has to
Would
be the
not
same
be surprised.
People, right?
Yeah, there's some sort of connection.
It's the same
there.
rationale, right? It's like I'm Taeyeon is my bias, and she's the greatest thing, and she would never date anybody except for me. And anybody else that thinks they look like her is fucking stupid. And if they receive a compliment and that they say look like her, that person's also ridiculous and deserves to be burned. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Like what? It doesn't make it. It has to be the same people.
Yeah.
And again,
I
still think it's a loud minority. I have to assume.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Not pleasant to deal with at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Her ex, Seokhyun's ex, chose Yoo Jong. This makes Seokhyun feel strange.
I mean, is she surprised?
Yeah, I mean, I still get the sense that she's like more interested in Ju-won than anyone else. Now, she isn't so interested in Ju-won that she's gone out of her way to like try with him, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she will. Like I don't even know has she really tried with anybody on the show. I think she's just like being herself.
I think she's tried with Kwante a bit. She consistently texted him at the beginning. She's like, I don't know, she's shown interest in him for a certain amount of time. I think he is the one she's shown the most interest in, even if maybe it's not currently up to date, her number one person, but I think that's the closest we can get is Kwante, just given how many sheer number of times she has texted him.
What's the number? You have it. How many times?
Oh, you're gonna make me count this shit?
It's so many you have to count?
I have other things in this chart. Okay.
You can't eyeball. Oh, okay.
All right. No. Let's do it. Okay. Day 1 text, Kwante. Photo date pic, Kwante. Day 2 text, Kwante. Day 3 text, Kwante. Day 4 text, Kwante. Day 5 text. That's when she went to Ju-won. It's day 5. But day 6, she's back to Kwante.
Okay.
And then after that, it's Dongjung and Hui-hyun for a little while, back and forth.
Yeah, she moved.
She had a solid run in the beginning, and they were also like texted each other, like 2 days in a row
when they dated. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't see it, but
I don't think there's a lot there. But if there's anything there, it's with him.
Yeah, I feel like the story I'm seeing that the show is giving me is like she's thinking about Ju-won more than anybody else. And that's not to say it's a bunch, but
that's fair. Yeah.
Also, what if the assignment at the texting time was like, you can send a text to somebody if you want to.
Oh, I love I just choose myself option.
But like, would Seokhyun have ever sent a text on the show if that was the choice?
I think at the beginning, like, she had to have come here with the plan of being like, I'm going to participate in the show, right?
Okay.
I think I don't think she's given up on the show in that way, but
okay.
I think at least in the beginning, yeah, she would have been texting.
Okay.
Maybe a week or two or a day or two there, she would have dropped off. But I don't know.
I just remembered. I have a wild edit read at the end of this.
Oh, okay.
I'll save it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, keep going.
Okay, next we've got Dongjin gets a text from Haewon that she had a therapeutic time thanks to him today.
Nice.
And then he sends her a text. I liked it too.
This is so weird. So weird. At first I was like, okay, I'm missing something. Like this one's on me. I don't know what the subtitle people.
Dongjin.
I thought it was like the subtitle people
texting.
did something. Nope. Because afterwards Taewon's gonna be like, so did you get my text before you sent me a text? Like what happened?
And he's like, no, you said you liked something 5 hours ago and I'm responding to that.
Yeah, we were in a group setting and you mentioned you liked something and I forgot to like respond in that moment. So I thought like this texting would be a good time to do that.
But I didn't think I'd specify the thing that I was referring to. I'd just say I liked it too. Cause clearly you're going to know what I meant.
I know you don't say you like stuff very often. So I knew you knew what I was going to talk about.
This man is silly when it comes to text, but I guess it's working out.
Better or worse than falling leaf emoji? Was the name of Dongjin or was that Kwante? I don't remember. No, Kwante.
No, that was Dongjin.
Peach
yeah. It was not a body part emoji. But yeah, this has got to be better than the leaf emoji.
What if he was like, I like it too, peach emoji?
Oh, well, that's something else.
Okay.
All right. Dahae gets the text. You had a hectic day since this morning. It was fun, lioness. And that's from Chungjin.
Nice. We're doing it.
So nickname has changed.
Yeah, he didn't put 13 years in the text, but he's definitely not dropping the 13 years yet.
And this is definitely one of those cases where you see her face light up when she gets the text and then everything fall when she gets the follow-up text saying who Dongjin has texted. And I think she says out loud, like, can I block this number? Or maybe it's in a confessional where she wants to block the number so she can't get the
she doesn't want to
text
know who Dongjin
saying who Dongjin is texting. Yeah. Which is fair. I think you should be able to opt out of it if you don't want it. If they insist on having it in here, you should get some sort of choice about that. Unsubscribe.
Okay. Do you like Chungjin's approach to just basically like the first time we already talked about it, but like basically the first time they talked after the extra reveals, he just called like in a joking kind of way, just brings up the 13 years right away.
Yeah, I think it was great because she was really nervous about it.
Yeah. And
he's just like, okay, that's, like we could be like, it's not a big deal. I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's also, silly. Let's move on, Yeah. Plus they already have a vibe of teasing each other. So it works.
Yeah. What I worry about with Dahae though, a little bit is like, I know she's so good at doing idol face, right?
That is true.
So when like, cause he's like, he's just like 13 years and she's like, stop it. Don't talk about that or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know how much she actually wants him to stop or it's playful. We're getting the it's playful edit, which I like. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I think.
Yeah.
I think they're both. It's good that they're not really talking about it, but they're at least acknowledging the situation, and they're both. Mm-hmm. They both think it's funny, right?
Yeah, they haven't changed the way they.
Which in a way is talking about it by kind of showing both people are cool with it. So I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I do like that here he doesn't reference it in this text. He gives her a different nickname. So it's kind of like, even though he does keep it up for a while, like he does stop, when she keeps going, stop,
I mean, he might bring it up again later, but I don't know how long.
I guess he might. Yeah. I don't know. But it's not like this is the thing now forever, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Huihyun?
Huihyun gets a text. I'm proud that we got closer. An open door. And this is from Songjong. And apparently she had been singing that song from Frozen earlier. Love is an open door.
Yeah.
And
we finish each other's
sandwiches.
There you
right?
go. That's right, Sarah.
Yeah, so now he cannot ascribe this text to being Sokyun like I feel he would have if the name hadn't been attached to it, you know.
Oh, he might have thought it was from Sokyun. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, but it's good.
I feel like he's done that in past days.
Yeah, I like that he can't think that. Although he's still kind of just gonna be like, let's just ignore the Songjung text,
Yeah.
and hope it goes away. Kind of attitude.
Hey, according to him, the texts don't mean anything. So there you go.
Yeah, I will say at least he's consistent with that. Like, has he ever had a huge reaction to any text he's given or any text he's received?
Was he feeling some sort of way in the beginning when he wasn't getting texts from K1? No, maybe that was just Ju-won.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
I don't think I remember that. Okay. Then yeah. Consistency. Okay. We like that.
I so far believe him. Now it feels like at some point somebody's going to text him and he's going to have a big reaction to it. But
yeah.
It seems like a bad setup to be hypocritical later, but we'll see.
Yeah. Then we got Minhyung also coming in with 0 texts because it's his first day. No surprise there.
He has a very similar reaction to Chongjin on his first day, where like they both were just kind of expecting their ex to send them a text because it was their first day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which still feels like a strange reaction to me, but okay.
You can like kind of get it from their perspective, but if you really think about it, it's like they've been hanging out with these other people for a week.
Yeah, exactly. They got other shit going on right now.
Yeah. Now, I think Minhyung's going to be particularly hurt by this because he's going to kind of find out that nobody's been texting Songjung.
Yeah.
And then he also didn't get the text from Songjung. So that kind of means more of something than just like Kwante not texting Songeun. Because at least Kwante thinks he has something going on.
Right. I mean, he's wrong, but yeah.
I don't know, Sarah.
Okay.
Get ready for my poll prediction. The end of this podcast. Okay.
Then we get Ju-won gets 1 text. This is my first time going on a 14-hour date from Yoo-jung.
Yeah, that's a good text.
Yeah.
The situation. Yeah, good stuff. But he is very bothered by the Sokyun texting Kwante, which is this is the new, his ex chose Kwante text. Super dramatic. Super dramatic music, like this is going to matter.
Yeah, definitely.
Putting it out there. All right. Which is what I want, which is also why I'm reading into it. But we'll ignore that.
This is what you want? You want this?
Yeah, I want Sokyun just to decide, like, yeah, I choose Ju-won. And then she just wins Ju-won back, like, easy as hell.
Okay.
That's what I'm rooting for.
All right.
Because then it opens up the door for my bold prediction.
All right, okay. And then finally we got Chongjin gets 1 text. Stop teasing me. It was nice to come to Jeju Island with you from Dahe.
Nice and professional text there. Yeah, and then Chongjin finally gets your ex texted Ju-won. I mean, he already saw that they went to Jeju together.
But there's like extra confirmation that they are a thing.
So he's like, we get a confessional where he's talking about how confused he is because he really thought she was into Kwante.
Yeah. I feel like most people like are not surprised by who their ex is texting, but they feel bad for having it confirmed. Except Chongjin just like definitely had no clue. And it's just like, oh no.
Yeah. I don't know why he thought it was Kwante. We didn't really get a scene explaining that. We're going to get a scene later where they're going to explain, well, it doesn't really explain it, but they're going to show a scene where like Ju-won thought Chongjin's ex was Hye-won. And he like creates a situation where Chongjin can talk to Hye-won one-on-one. Like he creates this artificial moment. And then he thought he did some mastermind plan that worked out because they like Chongjin and Hye-won ended up talking awkwardly for a long time while he was gone.
Yeah.
And he thought that like
and he's like,
his
I did a good deed today. It's like, no, man, you just had no idea what's going on.
We don't really get a scene of why. I mean, it's just consistent that every guy thinks
I
every
think
girl's
all
into
the
Quante.
guys see something in Quante that they're like, he's got game.
Yeah, like all the guys
whatever
would
he's
pick
got,
Quante.
yeah, whatever he's got, the ladies want, and it's not true.
Yeah, like if these 6 guys were the last human beings on Earth, they would all pick Quante. Yeah, because even every host that comes on the show is like, oh yeah, Quante's my favorite. Every guy host that comes on the show.
Well, then you should be able to know what's up, right? It's like a guy thing. Guys love Quante.
Yeah, my opinions are totally consistent with the masses. Actually, honestly, if I'm just like picking among the guys, okay, it's honestly tough. I don't think anybody really stands out to me as like for sure super fun boyfriend. I don't know.
What are you?
I mean, it's kind of hard
for. Like, what's the criteria?
I feel like they all have like something that's like a little off, and I'm just not. It doesn't mean like they're necessarily bad or anything. It's just like I have my.
We know too much.
Yeah,
and it's colored opinion.
Quante's a little extra, but besides his extraness, I don't really mind Quante. But I will admit he's like a little bit extra. Dongjin's like the story we're getting about Dongjin is very nice, but
you don't trust it.
I think there's something that's like a little bit boring about him, which is why he goes on dates and then doesn't get text afterwards.
I mean, now he is dating a woman.
Dongjin's kind of her number 2, right?
Well, yeah.
And then like Ju-on, I'm way out on. Changjin, I like, but outside of if he like wasn't involved with Dahye, would I really like him? I don't know. It could just be me as a guy not being able to be that into the guys. I'm not sure. As being me, not being able to be into the guys. I don't know, but I feel like in other shows I've been like, oh, I love this guy.
Yeah,
I've done that before, right? I'm not super excited about any of the guys on this season. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. Who have I liked in the past? I'm actually blanking.
You liked
probably some people in Love Catcher for sure, right? The young guy that.
Oh yeah.
I liked him. Yeah, I definitely liked him.
But also, Mingyu. You really liked Mingyu from Heart Signal.
Mingyu, yeah. I mean, part of that was he was very under-edited, so we didn't get on potentially. But he was like, yeah. He was like, he saves people out of the water for a living, and I haven't seen him do anything negative.
No. That I was talking about.
Oh, Mingyu. Oh, yeah, Mingyu. Yeah. I did like Mingyu, yeah. That's true. Oh, wait, who was I talking about?
You were talking about Singles Inferno.
Yeah, Singles Inferno is... Wait, is that Mingyu? Was his name Mingyu also?
They are both Mingyu, yes.
Oh, yeah. All Mingyus are great.
Okay, all of the 2 that we're thinking of right now are great.
I mean, that's probably universally true, right? All Mingyus are great.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's so far with our sample size of 2 that I can think of right now. There might have been another Mingyu that I can't remember.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So there's definitely guys on these shows that I've liked and thought were dateable.
Yeah.
And not that these guys aren't dateable, but like there's like a little bit of
none of that
hesitancy
joy
on some aspect of them. Yeah.
Okay. Do
you feel who's? I don't even remember the original question I was asked, but straight back at you. What do you say?
I like Dongjin. I don't know that I.
Yeah, you definitely like Dongjin. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think like the way all the guys think all the girls would be into Quante. I don't know that I think all the girls would be into Dongjin.
Oh, yeah. There isn't a guy on the season where I'm like confused that the girls aren't into them. Like that's not a thing. It's not like Mingyu on Singles Inferno where it's like I don't know what's going on here. Like, this guy seems great on paper, and I don't see any negatives.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. There's not a spark for any of them that makes me think that all the ladies should be interested in him. So yeah. But the guys in the house clearly see something in Quante.
Yeah. Whereas like removing the whole X part of Dahye and also Songjong, like those would easily be my 2 choices. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Then everybody kind of scatters a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
At some point after the texting. And then we get a lot of side conversations for the rest of this episode. So these 2 episodes are one day. And I believe they were released on the same day or like back-to-back days or something.
Oh, is that true? Okay.
I think is why people kind of told us to mix up how many episodes we were doing. I think it was I think it was for these 2 episodes. I could be wrong.
Okay.
What kind of side conversations you got? I don't know if I wrote them all down. So You lead the
Um,
way. What are we doing here? There's some good ones.
we do get a Minhyun going to find Sungjung in her dorm, and is just like he's checking in on her at first because she was crying immediately when he showed up, and then because he knows that she texted Huihyun, he asks her if she's got feelings for him and if she's no longer interested in getting back together. And she's just like, well, we haven't seen each other for a while. I feel like we drifted apart. So, I thought I was going to try to see somebody new here. And he's just like, interesting. You can go now.
Is that what happened?
Or I guess he's like, you should leave first, or you go for, like, he basically dismisses her without like responding.
What I wrote down was like he says something along the lines of like, all right, I won't talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
But like he's saying it as if like he's saying it as like an overreaction to like, oh, based on how you're saying what you're saying, I think that you are over me and into this guy. So yeah. I'm just, you don't have to talk to me anymore. Or something.
Well, like first he just like tries to dismiss her, and then we have this awkward Juwon like coming into because they're sitting in the smoking area at this point, and like interrupts them being awkward, and then Minhyun kind of doubles down on the explaining of just like, okay, yeah, you don't have to talk to me anymore because obviously you're not into it, whatever. So, but it's just that first bit where he's just like, you can go now. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, super weird vibes. What's weird is like we haven't gotten their backstory, so like I don't even know, and I can't really tell like who invited who on the show.
Right.
But even if Songjong invited him on the show, it's the same situation as Kwante, where it's like it's been a week at least since the pre-interview, and yeah, just things have changed.
Yeah.
The same thing happened last season, and I took issue with the person, Gumin, right? Gumin was on the show first, and he invited them on the show. But like that was more of like he took the approach of like, I'm going to purposefully do things that will bother my ex so that they can get over me faster.
Yeah.
Right. But I kind of sympathize more with Sung Jong and Kwante a little bit this season because it's like, yeah, it's been a long time. And it's been longer.
Yeah.
It's been like a full week as opposed to like the 3 or 4 days that,
right.
That it took for Haeun to get on the show last season.
And they're not like actively being assholes at their exes either.
Not yet. Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's always time.
Yeah, so super weird vibes. It seems very unlikely that I'm gonna like Minhyun.
Yeah. Nothing he's shown me so far I'm enjoying yet.
And I'm still hoping that Songjong can keep in my good favors, but we'll see. Yeah. Still, I thought we were gonna get their backstory in episode 13. We still don't.
Yeah.
So they're saving it for some moment.
We also didn't get, normally when we get an X reveal, we have gotten the ribbon cutting or not epilogue, and we did not get that for the other couple.
With Kwante, yeah. I think they just kind of, I feel like they just kind of threw it in. It really feels like Jong-un's just not going to be a huge story in the show.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because we got the backstory, and still Jong-un's not really going to be in the next episode. So it seemed like more of a completeness backstory than since it wasn't directly related to anything going on other than it was the X reveals, but they didn't reveal the other one, so I don't know. Because here's Jong-un's one presence in the show coming up, right? Yeah. Da-hye goes and gathers Jong-un to come hang out with everyone.
Yes.
Da-hye is so nice.
She is.
Her whole approach to this is like just like spot on with how you should behave in the situation.
Yep. Full on adult. Good job.
Because it's also weird where Jong-un chose Dongjin for the date.
Right.
And maybe that's why she was thinking about Jong-un more, and that's why she kind of went out of her way to do this more than anybody else was thinking about it.
Yeah, and then she like on the way of bringing her to hang out, she reassures her like, don't worry, we're over. She says, I'm actively dating someone else now. So that's how far in on this Chongjin thing she is.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't worry, go on your date, have a good time.
Yeah. And she's just like super aware of how Jong-un might be feeling and just kind of like brings it up and puts it out there because like she knows what she went through. So yeah.
Da is the greatest. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Probably gonna make friends with Jong-un Da here. At least I would assume so.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, Jungkook is interested in Changjin, so that could be a whole thing too.
Yeah, yeah. Also,
maybe that's
a
the one.
whole other thing.
Maybe that's the one way she has to get to the show. she has to date whoever Dahae.
Oof.
But then Changjin has to Changjin or Dongjin have to be interested for it to be anything, and that's where I think might be the problem.
Yeah. Well, Dongjin sure seemed excited to be picked, at least.
Yeah. It's hard to be somebody's number one. You're coming in this late. It somehow worked out last season, but I don't think that's the expected outcome more often than not.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Oh, we had the whole Juwon breaking the Changjin's e-cigarette. What was crazy? So Jungwon breaks his cigarette, right? And then he's like, "Oh, I need to fix this." And then he's like, "I'll go get some tweezers."
And then he never does.
And then not only does he not fix it, he does not tell Changjin about it.
Yeah.
What?
And then Changjin finds it on his own and is like, "What the fuck? Like, who broke it?" And then I think somebody else tells him that it was Juwon. And then it's just this extra awkward thing between them now.
Did he just get distracted? He must have just got distracted.
Yeah.
He ran into Yoojung and then they went for a walk. It's all happening at the same time or something. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. It's just a really weird move. Or he was just he thought it would be so awkward to talk to Changjin that he didn't even bother to give him the heads up that his e-cigarette might be broken.
I could also see that from him, honestly. Just being like, no,
I don't want to deal with this. That's super weird. Yeah. Because it's not like the situation's going to improve when he finds out you broke something of his, right? It's are we trying to make the situation worse or better? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Just maybe he wants to
trying to avoid it entirely. I think
some people they just they're addicted to that drama and they want it. Maybe that's Juwon. No. He wants to smoke. All right, what's next?
We get a bit where Hui-hyun explains his whole process of losing feelings for Haewon to Yoojung and Seokhyun. So more of, I guess, him trying to be like, look, I have feelings for someone else. It's you, and then her still just not picking up on it at all,
Yeah. And then he also talks to Songjong.
Oh, yeah, he does. Mm-hmm. And he's like, she brings up the text. She's like, did you get a text from, I've been texting you, what's up? And his excuse for not texting her today is that he thought she would text her ex, and he doesn't text people that he thinks will not text him back. That's his criteria, I guess, at least in this moment.
Is that what he said? I thought it was even weirder where I thought he was joking, but I thought his criteria was if I think somebody's going to text me, I try not to text them. I thought it was the other way.
Oh, I didn't.
I also thought he was joking. I thought he was joking, maybe. I don't know.
Oh. But then, this is also where he says that he didn't think anybody was taking the text seriously at all.
Yeah, he's not. I kind of believe him. I kind of just believe he's not.
But yeah, she is basically directly telling him that she texted him because she has feelings for him. And he's just deflecting the conversation any which way he can. And basically implying that, she's had a busy, stressful day. She couldn't have possibly made a proper decision after her ex showed up and with, seeing who everybody's exes was, she couldn't possibly be in her right mind while she was picking who to text. So, yeah, it was a weird, awkward situation.
Yeah. The one thing I can see where Hui-hyun's kind of coming from, as far as just maybe not being interested in her, is that she did cry a bunch when her ex showed up, hours ago, And it's the same thing with Dahae reading the ex introductions.
Yeah. In terms of not wanting to text her or maybe not even thinking she would text him. Yeah.
But his explanation makes no sense. It's Sungjin is basically hey, I texted you and that's because I like you. And he's just gives an excuse that doesn't actually acknowledge the fact that she sent him a text. It's
he's basically
it's really weird.
Your feelings aren't real. That's not true. You've had a bit of a day.
Again, I think I understand how Hui-hyun is feeling, but he is not saying what it is exactly in the right way.
Yeah.
It's I don't know why he hasn't really texted her. I mean, he did text her once, we said, maybe on the walking date.
Yes. Yeah.
But he hasn't shown a ton of interest in her. And then he's basically saying yeah, you seem like you're still involved with your ex in a way that I didn't want to be involved with on this night or whatever. But
Yeah, but like
he's saying it in a
that's
weird
like not
to
even
tell her like, oh,
yeah.
you couldn't have possibly sent me that text. If anything, the reaction should be, oh, I thought you were going to send it to your ex and you sent it to me. That must mean you really like me. Like I feel like that's the normal reaction you should have. Like it was
Except
fair
he's
to
just
think
like
that she would send.
trying. Yeah, yeah. It totally would
It's fair
be
to
believable that she would send
yeah.
it to her ex.
Yeah.
But like he's just like refused.
It's weird.
He should just communicate clearly, like, hey, I'm not actually that into you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, there you go.
Yeah. This I don't get. Yeah. Huihen's gonna be involved with talking to Hyewan later, and that I kind of get more. But like Songjung's gotta be Huihen's like third option here, right? At best. Like if he has any interest in her at all, it's like number 3.
Yeah.
And number
I think that makes sense.
I don't know. Like even if you're like trying to like not reject her because like you think there might still be a chance, even in that scenario, like this way of doing it is just weird. So yeah, and there's nothing really about this conversation that's well done by Huihen. It's just weird all the way around.
Yeah.
It's like insulting enough to the point that like Songjung should be out, right? And that's like kind of where this goes, where she's like talking about being worried about his mind or something in a confessional. It's like, well, I am interested in him, and his mind seems a little weird, so that doesn't seem good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be fair if she was out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. When she talked about his mind was weird, I wrote, yeah, same. I think that's right. I agree.
Next, like, say what you will about Juwon and Yoojung. Like, they go on a little walk and they just have an adult conversation about how they just figured out who each other's exes are and whatever. And they kind of outline the progress of having come on the show, being interested in X or not, and how they got to feelings for each other now. I gotta, give them credit for an adult conversation.
Yeah. I wrote, this would have been a really nice conversation if I was rooting for them. Yujon says, I like you now. Like, I like you now. Like, they were talking about their exes. They were talking about their exes in, like, a healthy adult way, like you said, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she said she doesn't want to get back with her ex. I'm starting to just believe that. Although, I believe that when she says it, she means it now. I don't think it's an impossibility that if things break a certain way, that she... Actually, no. I believe that she wouldn't get back with her ex. This is my... I think this is where I think I have my bold prediction here.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's finish the conversation, though. Sorry.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I will say that I felt like she said, I like you now, and she was like, I don't want to get back with my ex. I don't think Juwon totally reciprocates the same thing to her. Now, he also says some nice things that would make her feel good about them, but I don't think it was... He never said, I like you, and he never said, I
He did say he developed feelings for her.
Okay. I don't know. I just feel like I thought the phrase I like you was like a bigger deal.
Probably, yes.
I don't know.
But there is some acknowledgement of he feels a way about her.
Yeah. I mean, he better at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So here's, I just feel like I said, Seokhyun just has to be like, Juwon, let me help you with your lip balm. Let me put that on for you. You know, it's like, it wouldn't be that hard, right? It wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
To get Juwon to come back. And there's just something about this edit that I've been complaining about with the whole Kwante and Yoojung thing. Okay. I don't know, man. Like,
you don't know?
Kwante, it feel like Kwante could just kind of be tossed aside. Who cares about his edit in the show? It just seems so likely that Seokhyun can just win Juwon back. And then I'm starting to believe that, Yoojung is not going to go back to Chongjin. And I don't know. Okay. Kwante's just there.
So you think she's going to go to Kwante?
It's just Kwante there. Okay. That's my read.
I think Kwante's around because either something's going to half-heartedly happen with Seokhyun, or he's just like a fan favorite. And so they they got to keep him in the show.
But they keep him in the show like in a way that he's like getting ragged on a little bit. And like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like his edit could just be like, now they have to, I guess they have to explain the text if they don't want to lie about the text. I guess that's the one thing they kind of have to at least explain why Kwante is
Yeah.
still texting Yujong. But like his story could be, if you remove the text, just like, oh yeah, we went on I went on a few dates with Seokhyun, and then over time we developed feelings for each other. It wasn't like, yeah, I don't know. It just feels from a perspective that the Kwante Yujun thing might be endgame material, at least.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Okay.
Endgame material. That is a bold prediction. Edit read by me.
It is.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I wouldn't say that's the most likely thing to happen, but I'm just putting it out there.
All right. We'll see.
Because we're also getting the dramatic music with the Juwon and Seokhyun stuff in a way that makes it seem like that's not going away.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
That's why that.
We'll see.
Who's next? Chongjin and Dahye? That's who I have.
Yeah.
And then Juwon joins. Oh yeah, he's like coming inside. Actually, we skipped a conversation that I wrote down. Hold on.
Okay, which one?
Hyeon and Huihyun talking. Did you talk about that?
We didn't talk about that. She like is on the hunt for him. She like just walks into his house.
I didn't write down the whole conversation. Yeah, I just kind of wrote down my read of everything. I think he kind of explains his side of everything in a way that's like actually pretty accurate to probably how he's feeling.
Yeah.
But it's just like not like clear enough for Hyeon to like make her up her own mind on the situation, which is like I think really annoying for her.
Yeah.
But my read is like Huihyun's number one is Seokhyun.
Right. Which he tells her that he has feelings for her now.
Yeah. He doesn't say it like at like number one, number two, but like Hyeon's kind of like the backup is my read.
Yeah.
But Hyeon's number one is Huihyun, and then Dongjin is her backup. So they both have
that sounds right. Yep.
number ones that aren't lining up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they do have backups, which means they don't want to let go of their backups. I don't know. Like I don't know if this was like people got annoyed with either one of them watching this, but I was just kind of like, yeah, they just both need more time to decide. It's basically how I felt when I watched this. It was like it's awkward, but they kind of just both need to keep dating and dating each other and dating other people and figure out what's up, because it's just hard, man.
But yeah, so then like she leaves and ends up talking to Kwante about it, and like she's venting about the whole Huihyun situation. So Kwante goes and gets Huihyun out of bed and is like, go outside and talk to this woman.
Oh, this is later. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is later. And it's funny, there's a part where you can see them standing outside talking, and like in the window on the stairs inside the house, you can kind of see like the silhouette of Kwante just like staring at them from inside, which is pretty good.
It was super awkward.
Yeah, it's a really awkward conversation.
Yeah, like Hyeon tells Kwante the situation in kind of, I would say in like maybe a more clear way than Hyeon is like admitting to Huihyun. And Kwante, I feel like Kwante has like the healthy reaction of being like, oh, you should like go talk to him about this.
Yeah.
But I can also kind of get from like Hyeon's perspective, it doesn't really benefit her. Like I don't know if she's like honest with Kwante about the whole Dongjin thing. So I don't know. I kind of like get why maybe they didn't need to talk tonight, but Kwante thinks like they definitely should. So it's like really awkward where Kwante's forcing both of them to talk and think that each other wants to talk, when in reality, like they would never have talked tonight if it weren't for Kwante.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know how it ends up at this point, but she's just like, let's just, like, don't worry about me anymore on this show or whatever.
She's doing the Minhyun. That's the Minhyun strat.
Yeah.
It's the same sentiment. Yeah, right.
And he's like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I've been too worried about what other people think. If I start having feelings for you, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'm just going to do my thing, basically.
Yeah.
But then, like, it ends with him saying that he still wants to go on a date with her.
Yeah. Huihyun's, like, doing the thing that I feel like everybody wants to do, but, like, they are too, like, it's too, like, taboo to, like, talk about it. Right?
Okay.
It's like, basically he hasn't decided, and he's like, well, I I I want to date both of you until I figure it out. Is that cool? But like, it's just weird socially to have to say it. And I was actually impressed he kind of gets to that.
Yeah. Okay.
The only downside is like K1 might read too much into it and be like, oh, he asked me on a date. Like that means this, and this. And it's like, no, he's like,
yeah, I think she 100% already did that. She like heard, I want to go on a date with you. And
that's what yeah. Basically the episode ends on that, but that's like the facial expression plus music reaction that it seems like. Yeah. But the reality is like he doesn't even know himself, honestly, is what it is. Like I do think he's leaning Seokhyun.
Yeah.
Especially if Seokhyun would reciprocate.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, he doesn't want, like, if Seokhyun for sure was never going to reciprocate, I don't think he's like against getting back together with Hyewon. Even though he cut the string, I don't think he's against it.
Yeah, he cut the string with his logic that is not applied to it. Not how everybody else applied to it. Yeah,
that's what we speculated. Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't really have a problem with this, honestly. It was just kind of like, yeah, it's just an awkward situation.
Yeah, I just don't enjoy like how she goes from like, she almost looks like a spooky ghost staring at him washing dishes with Seokhyun earlier in the evening, just being like, I'm angry, to like here where she's like, oh, he wants to go on a date, everything's fine, I'm happy. Like that's at least what her face looks like. I think that's and I don't love this.
We'll see. I think we need to at least give her a chance to see.
Yeah, that's
we didn't even get a confessional from her. It was just like last second reaction. In the moment that we saw.
But the way it was portrayed to us makes it seem like, oh yeah, amazing, this is great, everything's fine, you know. I don't love it.
Everything's definitely not fine.
Yeah,
like ultimately, like I don't want them to get back together, right? Like I don't think that's what we're rooting for here.
Correct.
I'd kind of be surprised if that's what anybody's rooting for, but yeah, I don't have any, like, as far as the X interactions went, I didn't have any like major issues with it in this episode, with the exception of like whatever this Min Hyung stuff is going on.
It seems bad. Just weird.
I don't it's still early, so I'm like not gonna say. And it was like his first day and all that, but yeah, we'll see. But as far as weird energy, people we've already seen and how they've behaved in this, I think it was that bad. It's just more of the situation that was awkward.
Yeah. No, like weird fighting or whatever. Like it's just.
I think getting to the point where they're just like, yeah, we should go on another date. I think that's like as good of an outcome of this awkward situation as it could possibly have happened. Like,
okay,
it's like, oh, we agreed to go on a date. I mean, he definitely implied that he still was going to date other people. It wasn't like an exclusive suggestion.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, that's the show. So
that is the show.
You got it. I mean, you came on the show, and you at least be okay with that. And if a chance is all you need to be happy, then K1 can be happy. That's good.
Okay. All
right, we skipped the Chongjin and Dahye. You want to go back? What did we miss here?
Yeah, well, I think most of their conversation is just Chongjin is like worried about the awkwardness of being Juwon's roommate.
Yeah.
/ bestie. And then when Juwon comes in, Dahye's just like, you will sit and talk. And I guess they kind of work things out, you know? They're like, eh.
Yeah, in a very like bro-y kind of, they didn't talk about the e-cigarette though, but that's okay.
That's true.
I just wanted to note, like basically it's super early, super late in the morning, right? It's like 5 a.m. or something.
Like 5 a.m. or something, yeah.
I feel like Dahye is basically doing her like bedtime routine, but she's like doing it in front of Chongjin. Like she has the face mask and she's doing like whatever hair curls she does or whatever. Like they're very comfortable. Yeah, very comfortable with each other, or at least she's very comfortable with him. Yeah, I would say.
Hey, it's not their first time staying up until 5 a.m. talking, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Sarah, are you here for the Chongjin Juwon bromance storyline?
Oh, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, neither do I. I honestly, I really don't care.
Like, unless they make them share a bed, then I'm all in and it's hilarious.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, I feel like no matter how it turns, like I'm just not here for it. Like it's like,
I mean, a big part of that comes from just not being in on Juwon at all, right? Like,
I don't like. I would, even if I remove that, right? Like, what is the? It's either the two outcomes are, or the two dramatic storyline outcomes that could come from it are they decide that their bromance is more important. Bros before hoes. Right?
Ugh. Ugh. Gross.
I know, gross, right? Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Or they like fight each other about their exes. Like what? I don't really get
or
what it is.
They just be fucking adults where they go, okay, yeah, you're dating my ex now. It's fine. I'm into somebody else now.
So this is just like a little bit of extra something to fill up time on the show. Like it's, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that's what it is.
I'm just
like,
hoping
I don't think
that
anything...
I just want Dahe to be a good influence on them and they'll learn from her, just to be like, address it openly. It's fine. Moving on, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because I don't think we've had it yet,
weird.
but like clearly, like she's obviously gonna have a conversation with Haewon at some point to be like, it's okay that you're, trying to date Dongjin. Over it or whatever, like they've been like Dahe and Haewon have been like super close.
Oh yeah.
She hasn't talked
to her yet? Dahe hasn't talked
to Haewon yet? Well, I don't think we've seen it.
Okay.
Maybe it's happened already. But like I just like she's the kind of person who's gonna reassure her, just like she did with Dongin earlier today, where she's like, it's okay, you picked him. We're over.
Yeah. But even though they are close, like we didn't have this like build up of like they're close and they're dating each other's exes, or one of them's dating the other one's ex, but they don't know it, and it's gonna be a whole thing. Like we didn't get a build up like that, but we are for Chungjin and Juwon in a way that it seems like it has to turn into something bigger, or it's just
Is it because we expect different behavior from them because they're men? Is that
no?
Why it's happening?
I just don't think we haven't had any build up of Dahe's relationship with Haewon potentially having an impact because Haewon is dating Dongjin, right? There was no buildup of that.
Yeah, I just wonder why we haven't had any buildup of that. Maybe
because I would assume it's just because it's not going to matter. Okay. But for some reason with Chungjin and Juwon, it's like this is still a thing that's happening. And I mean, it's like a little bit funny. Like maybe it's just supposed to be funny. It's like because this thing with the e-cigarette happened, and it was just
maybe if he hadn't broken the vape, none of it would be in here.
Was it just like so many funny coincidences that the show was like, this is funny enough that we should just put this little like mid-season storyline in the show, and maybe this is the end of it. I'm not sure, but yeah, everybody should just be like, yeah, I'm cool with whoever my ex dates. Like, I mean, like you don't have to be like if Juwon and Yujong end up like dating long term, and that has an effect on Juwon and Chungjin's relationship, like he doesn't want to hang out, like that's also fine. You had your little bit like they've known each other. Yeah, you know each other for for 4 days. Yeah, it's like okay. Yeah. He's also known Yujong for only 4 days, but
no, he's known Yujong for at least 7 days.
Oh, from the beginning. Okay, yeah, you're right. Is it only kind of a thing potentially because Juwon like deep down kind of knows he's willing to go back to Seokhyun, and he wouldn't mind maybe an excuse that he has to?
Oh,
is that in play here?
Maybe.
Yeah, I have to because I'm really close to this other guy, this guy that used to date this girl. So
or at least it's a good excuse he can try to throw to Yujong to be like, oh yeah, it's not because Seokhyun came back. It's I abandoned you first, unrelated to that, because of my bro.
Yeah, I didn't like I could see that. I didn't like Seokhyun and you at the same time. That never happened. Yeah. It was just
I had to give up on my great love for you because of my greater love for my bro.
Yeah.
And then I got back with my ex. It's just a weird coincidence. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're there. We get it.
Yeah. We got it figured out.
How does Chongjin feel about Yujong right now? End of episode 13.
Complicated. He's annoyed, I think, in the way she was like, didn't really want to talk to him. Still wants to get back with her a little bit, but is also digging Dahe. So it's a mix of a bunch of garbage is how he's feeling right now, probably.
Yeah.
I had to guess.
I feel like he's still in that old, like where Dahe was before, where it's like, I definitely am still interested in my ex, but like he's seeing the writing on the wall that it's like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that just kind of continues, and then he gets to the where Dahei is now, and then
the Dahei level of enlightenment. Yeah,
it's all great. It's all good. I hope that's where it is. Like it's hard for me to imagine Chongjin like actively still pursuing Yuzhong with the information he has at this point in time.
Yeah.
That just seems kind of weird. But maybe the show will do something to try to like respark those feelings. We'll see.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Absolutely.
What is the thing that they did in season 1 or season 2? Sorry, it was like there was a point in time where it was like they had the option to choose their ex, or
they made them choose a date for their ex, and that got everybody all riled up.
They made them choose a date for their ex, but they couldn't pick themselves, or they
couldn't pick themselves.
They couldn't pick themselves. But that was the whole thing, because the people last year were like very, or at least the one person I didn't like was like very spiteful.
Yeah, the only reasonable response is to be like, "Hey, ex of mine, who do you want to go on a date with? I will pick them for you." Whereas some people were like, "No, I'm not going to pick the person you want to go on the date with because it would make me sad or some whatever."
Yeah. But that's not going to get Chongjin a chance to get back with Yuzhong. Like what would have to happen for that to make him to matter?
Like she seems so out on him. I don't think there's anything that's going to get him a chance to get back with her. But there might be something that spurs him to have more feelings about wishing he could.
Okay, we'll see. I can't think of anything specific that got because these people aren't as unreasonable so far, are not as unreasonable as it seemed like other people were last year. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you think anybody's gonna pull the? It was Heian, right? Heian was like, "Yeah, I can't pick. I can't pick the girl you like for this date." Would anybody do that this season?
K1 feels like somebody
K1
who would do that.
Ooh, okay. If there was somebody, K1 might be a good choice. I still don't think she would. I still don't think she would, but I don't know. I guess every time I think the choice is obvious, it never plays out that way. So who knows? Yeah. I could see maybe like Yuzhong being like hella spiteful, because she seems like actually mad at Chongjin.
Yeah, that's true.
But not in like you're not trying to get back with me, so I resent you. It's like, I actually still hate you.
I don't want you to have a good time today, so go out with someone you don't like.
Yeah. And that, I'll be honest, like, that's way better than what Heian did last season. Because Heian's whole thing was like, yeah, I'm going to not do what you want, and also, I kind of want to get back with you.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an interesting way to get somebody to like you. At least that was the story that was presented to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that nobody would do that. But all right, is that what's coming next episode? Are we at that point where for those? Well, we gotta do the 2 dates.
We do have to do the 2 dates for
sometime in the next 2 episodes. Maybe that's why everything gets real bad or real dicey between the exes, because they get to choose each other's dates. It does not go well.
I feel like we gotta have some normal, just like Jeju Island dates, you know, like.
Who knows what Songjung and Min Hyun would do if they had to choose each other dates? Actually, that's a real unknown.
Yeah, hopefully in the next 2 episodes we'll get their backstory and figure out what the fuck is happening there.
Okay. Anything else from these 2 episodes?
I think we did it.
All right, we talked about it all. Semicolons. Okay. Is that guaranteed highlight clip? Having not listened to the rest of the podcast, is semicolons going to be on Instagram
here's the thing.
this week?
I don't think so, because I like to actually put content in from the show we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So that way people who are watching the show might be interested in it instead of just random ass semicolon talk, which no one is interested in.
I don't know why I brought it up. It was something about the texting, right?
Yes. About people who are into grammar. I don't know why.
Why?
These
why do we bring that up?
Sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Hard to say.
Yeah, so next time, I think we're doing Transit Lift 3, episodes 14 and 15.
Yes.
But after that, I don't think we have any specific recommendations as to how many episodes to do after 15.
Because what it goes to is 20 episodes, right?
Yeah. It's a little awkward because we have 5 episodes left. By default, I want to just do 2 at a time. But maybe somebody can recommend maybe doing 3 and then 2, or then 2 and then 3. The last episode hasn't, or the last 2 episodes haven't come out yet, so people can't really tell us for sure.
But they can tell us if the 3 that are out there then would go well together.
If those would go well together, let us know. I want to say the finales were very long in season 2, so maybe doing the last 2 episodes together would be better.
Yeah.
If we're trying to only do 2 more podcasts on the last 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, people let us know what they think would be best.
Yep.
Alrighty. Where can people contact us, Sarah?
People can email us at keepwatchingpod@gmail.com, tweet at us at keepwatchingpod, Instagram at us at keepwatchingpod, leave a comment under this video on YouTube also at keepwatchingpod, and if you want to display your keen use of a semicolon, you can leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or just leave it at any of the aforementioned places where you can contact us.
Yeah.
Semicolons everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely most interesting comment prompt we've ever done. We're going to get so many comments with semicolons.
Oh, yeah. Or, just tell us whatever you're vibing with. That's, I don't know.
As always.
As always.
But you might as well just throw some semicolons into whatever comment you leave. Yeah.
Oh, but not randomly. Try to do it right.
Why not?
Okay, you can write whatever you
want. I would recommend should I say what I would do if I was in the listener's situation?
You're a monster, though, so I don't know if
I would do what I always accidentally do when I type, and which is when I type an apostrophe, I accidentally type a semicolon.
Oh no!
But just do it on purpose.
Gross.
That's good stuff. You know what I meant. You see a colon S at the end of the word. You know what I meant. No big deal. No big deal.
Okay. Feel like your autocorrect should fix that.
On the phone, maybe. I don't do it on the phone. It's when I'm typing, so it'd have to be an autocorrect situation. But yeah,
fair.
Alrighty. Anything else, Sarah?
I think that's it.
You're good. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.